Yes, we'll keep the ball together with Tam Cowan.
How you doing?
How are you, Tam? You good?
I'm all right, but if one of you's mentioned the word Stenhousemuir, I'm right back out that door, all right? That was a sore one. That was a sore one.
I know somebody's desperate to mention it.
Well, these two you put on your Instagrams a couple of weeks ago. Thank God
For Motherwell.
for Motherwell and Scottish football. We now fast forward a couple of weeks and they've just been beat with Stenhousemuir. So what are you going to say to that?
So see, again, I've heard pundits all week talk about how we need to give young Scottish players a chance. So the manager went and done that. That's then up to the players to take the opportunity. They obviously haven't. But should that not be looked upon as a good thing?
Players, then?
That he trusts young Scottish players in such a big game?
Is that on the players you're blaming?
100% it's on the players.
No, it's on the manager for the amount of changes that he's made in a game like that, which is absolutely shocking because that tournament, Motherwell could go and win. And the fact that he's done that is
well, this is still a young manager who's just in the door. He's trying to assess his squad going forward. So
can he be getting beat with Stenhousemuir?
I think it's a wee bit, they've got to share a wee bit of blame. Now, first up, what I've got to say, so many Motherwell fans yesterday, when the team was announced, and you've all seen this before, we've got 5 guys that have come through for the academy, and we're going, oh, great, give yourselves a pat on the back, isn't that wonderful? And then the minute you get beat, boo, get fucking here, boys, we need men in the team. Spend some of the money. We've taken in £14.2 million since selling Lennon Miller. That's just in 1 year, you know what I mean? So maybe we'll get the good out of that because the boot up the arse as it was yesterday for everybody and a wee reality check as well, because I don't think what the manager realises, right, as much as the last couple of Motherwell managers and that have been dead refreshing and they've come in there and they don't really know about Scottish football and they've not got the fear factor going to Celtic or Rangers, which is a tremendous thing, right? But what they maybe don't realise as well is that the League Cup is massive for Motherwell because we've no won anything for 35 years. We're not going to win a European trophy, right? I know that Thursday's a huge game and Fir Park will be jumping. The Stenhousemuir game will be forgotten about. But what a chance. And then you just knew that you were looking for who were Stenny. Well done, Stenny, by the way.
Yes,
when I'm on the radio,
I hate when it's normally if Celtic or Rangers come a cropper to somebody, the story is all about them getting beat.
Yeah.
Rather than the wee team winning. So well done Stenhousemuir, absolutely fantastic for him, and what a draw him to Hearts. But Motherwell fans are now pig sick, saying we'd kind of fancied a chance against Hearts, and then one of Celtic or Rangers is going to be out, you know. So that we were close. We could have been close to a wee sniff of silverware, but that's us.
You're right, well done, Stenny, but I'm fuming with the manager. I fucking hate it.
Too many changes.
8 changes is too much. And again, like, you couldn't criticise him for much, but wasn't he particularly happy with Jens doing it last year at Aberdeen, at Tawdry, and then 8 changes.
Were you up there last year, aye?
No, I think I
can you remember? I don't think the changes were as drastic though as they were yesterday.
There was maybe 5 or 6, but it was like 8 changes yesterday. Boys that have been flying, obviously. And like he says, we advocate for young players getting opportunities all the time, but when you put 5 of them in at once, you've not got the experience doing about them.
But see, if
but you know what,
boys are training them every day, right, and he deems that they've done well enough in training, what other game do you put them in? If they can't go and play against them, can they?
See, even if we'd put the boys in yesterday and we had been rotten, but we'd sneaked to 1-0, everybody's, brilliant, that's great, and we know the boys are not going to feature on Thursday, but wasn't it great getting them a run out? But the oldest cliche in football, it's all about results. Simple as that.
Well, come to Motherwell, but we do things that annoy us in lifetime. What's annoying you just now? I think because you've got quite a lot now.
Everything annoys me. But the shops that put out bread and cakes and they don't have them covered at this time of year and there's flies and everything going out. I experienced that just yesterday, you know. A lot of football things annoy me, that when you see stadiums with thousands of empty seats, but season tickets are only valid. They're no valid rather for so many games now. When I had my first season ticket at Motherwell, anything that happened at Fir Park, you get in, including the reserve games, which used to be brilliant, you know, but now they're taking that away. It used to be you get the first cup game, no matter what competition it was, they've taken that away as well. And all you get now is a season ticket holder, and I'm sure it's the same at every stadium now. You get your chance to reserve your seat. If you want the same seat for a cup game seat, you've got to buy a ticket for, you know what I mean? That's a bit.
There's a lot of stadiums empty, mate, at the weekend. Noticed it with Tannadice, Dundee United v Celtic.
Tannadice, I was shocked at.
Couldn't believe it, a game like that.
And you know what? There's always areas, Motherwell, I think maybe quite rightly you could say, for the aesthetics, the way it looks on the telly, we get it in the net quite a bit for putting away fans and just the top tier, right? And it's a fair point. Now, whether that's because you don't want the two maybe young teams to be a matter of 15 yards for each other, I don't know. But what I would do is, even if they're doing that, the whole of the bottom tier of the south stand, unless of course we're playing Celtic, Rangers, Hearts, Hibs maybe, open that free for the kids. And I know there's all the red tape and they say they need to be accompanied by adults and all that, but I just think you use up every free bit of space in a ground. And if you get the kids in, because back in my day when you just got with your wee pals to Fir Park and get a lift there and no bother and it was open terraces, that encouraged me to get a season ticket.
Yeah.
And now I've got 50 years supporting them under my belt. I think of the money I've put into the club as a supporter.
Get guys like him saying he's 15, so that's the only thing.
Aye.
Well, I've got a big one. I've got a big ick.
Do you know what a nick is?
A nick?
So a nick's when
something that's like
puts you off somebody.
Unattractive and that puts you off somebody.
Andy, talk to him about this.
Oh, sorry, that's two an ick.
An ick.
Aye, right, aye, I didn't
So
know
Andy,
that.
talk to him about this, right? We're out. And a bird. Just.
Was she nice?
She's a nice little lassie. So we're sitting at the table and she's up a wee bit and she does that to Si. Half a love heart. He does the other half to her.
No, that's horrendous.
But mate, he's doing that for ages and she has done it. She built it down.
I thought she was doing the size of your dick. That's why I got it back.
Mate, are you gonna put your hands up? That's what I'm after saying.
Fucking beat it. Just sitting in a...
I met a Rottweiler called Halliday. at Botanic Gardens. No word of a lie.
Named after you?
Aye.
Well, not even Andy.
And the guy was with his missus. And when the guy was telling me, oh, I'm not even joking here, my dog's called Halliday, the wife straight away has done this.
Oh, no wonder.
Dear me.
But he was like, oh, like...
Did the wee dog did it that's in here and all that? No, the turkey.
The dog by transplant.
That was great, mind. It was a couple of years ago when you'd get your wee thing done and all that, and I'm saying, it's nice to see you in here, son. The boy was sitting there last year. He was this kind of balding Rangers player. I think we've got fucking rid of him. He's sitting there. But see, he was always a good audience. Because when folk know and I had a wee laugh for you and you came at my show last week, I think you only ever have fun and you take the piss out of folk that you like.
Of course.
You know, like you think when you're sitting with your pals and all that, you can't beat that if everybody takes the piss out of each other.
So you done us, why don't you do him?
Folk that you don't, well, they need to come to a show.
Poor that, he's not
I mean, you're going to come, you're going to go, aren't we?
No, this week, the following week.
Have you?
They're going to come
along. I'll stick you in the door, get a wee drink. Did you have a drink after that wee bar upstairs?
That was
beautiful,
nice. Johnny Sunderland's son was there.
Oh, wee looker. Aye, wee looker.
Can't believe he's got a boy. He's got kids.
His son looks older than
Didn't he?
Aye.
Shat his pants the weekend, didn't
I was going to say, did you see him
Oh,
and Neil McCann?
Oh, fucking hell.
Well, I'll tell you, if I know Neil McCann, former professional sportsman and all that, never out the gym, keeps himself in good nick, but I wouldn't go head to head with wee joiners.
Would you know?
What, fighting?
His wee wiry nippy get.
Oh, no.
Get my two wee boys to leather him.
You don't want one of the wee dogs that goes for your ankles and all that, honestly.
I think.
Oh,
Has he got a bit?
treat him carefully, wee joiners.
Do you want to hear the listeners' Icks and Peeves? Are you not bothered?
Aye, on you go.
Grant Fleming, I want to get your take on it. Alright, Si, ick for the podcast, I need your boys' thoughts. My missus has her shoelaces tied and the hoops are that big they are dragging along the floor. Surely no one is having that.
I'm a double bunny.
What?
Double bunny, is that what you call
That's
it?
an ick. What? You're a what?
That's a grown man.
A grown man saying a double bunny?
Aye, but that's what it's called when you do two loops and then...
My laces thing is my daughter, who's 15, Disney untie her trainers, and every lassie at her age, she's got about 100 pairs of trainers, and she keeps squeezing her feet into them. In the back of them, they're always going to get wore down. Oh, I need new trainers.
Aye,
well, untie them and, you know.
Lazy that.
Wee man still on the Velcro, ain't you, son?
No, I'm on the fucking Velcro.
You're that with the lace knickers, you're that. When he thinks
No, but knickers, what was the woman said to us the other day? A man in the morning sniffs his pants.
Oh, that's right, to see if he can use them
To
again.
see if he's got another day in them.
That's bogging.
Aye, boy, that was in Ginties, wasn't it?
Ginties, aye.
This is Ben
What's even
Vinicum.
worse is if in the morning you put your foot into a soak and you forget what you were using it for the night before. No, I read that.
Ben Vinicum. Got an XI. My bird held up the tifo. That's a, you're finished with it.
That's your bird with a flare.
Fucking higher. Get a higher. Amazing. Your missus got the football with you?
Did she what?
She got the football with you?
No. She was in Seville for the Celtic game. She went there with some of her pals, but she was nice. She's not really a football fan, but they'd get tickets. She used to be the magazine's editor with the Sunday Mail, and it was a big, obviously, media event, the whole Celtic thing, and she went to that bit. And I took my daughter to one game and one game only, and what she liked, you can understand this, it was a spectacle that she liked. It was a Motherwell Hearts game. She'd have been about 9 or 10, and she loved the whole thing, and got her a hot dog and all that, and then loved, because she'd never seen as many people in the one space as that, a Hearts game as well, good crowd, but she didn't care what was happening on the pitch, and she didn't care about anything else, the result, anything like that, but she still talks about the spectacle, but she wouldn't want to go back.
Have you taken one at Ibrox yet?
No.
When were you?
I don't know, she's only 15 months.
Yeah,
That's too young.
But about the other day when she ran up to me and I didn't pick her up, remember?
I know.
I've never seen anyone
You're
so weird with kids.
It's unreal.
How many kids you got?
Just one.
Just one.
But my daughter's, she ran up to Slaney for
No,
a cuddle
my
the other day,
phones were
and he
full.
fucking slapped
My
her
phones
away.
were full.
Right.
So I couldn't do anything about it.
That voice he does to your kid, mate, I
know.
can't listen to it.
See, no matter
When,
if she sat there for 2 hours,
He just keeps
he would
shouting her
still
name.
just say hiya. 2 hours later, do you know what I mean? But you're allowed to, say other things, but it's hiya. 2 hours later, yeah, she's been there for ages, mate.
Isn't that good? Ryan Leary.
Your wee boys are coming on a bundle. They look like wee dudes.
They're good.
But you need to watch them. Mind, they're always kids.
How do you mean?
They're always kids. Don't let them grow up too fast.
I know, I'm trying to keep them like that, but they're
The wee characters though, mate, aren't they?
characters, mate, they're funny. Mate, and Nick, this is for Ryan Leary. On holiday then now, when a full-grown adults go and do the water gym class, thrashing the water about and that, come on, there's no fitness
You're
in
not
it. Be as
teaching
well,
your
doggy
sons how to read, I hope, are you?
Did that not come across well?
Right, I'll leave that to the teachers.
Right, what's your thoughts?
Imagine that, reading you a bedtime story. Fucking it, mate. You'd hear the milkman coming when he's not even finished. The three bears went and they said, I'll have my porridge now. Can I?
Fucking have it.
Yeah. He's been needing a pounding for a while.
I know.
Amazing, man. I can
Right, thoughts on adults going to the water class on holiday?
Adults going to the water class, right?
like the
You're
aerobics
speaking to a man who, just for a laugh, when I was in Porto Palenza recently, you know how they do the aerobics thing in the pool? I was the only guy in the pool doing it. I joined in for a bit of fun, and it was me and all the women.
Did you enjoy it?
I thought that was fine. Oh, yeah, I got a thrill out of it. It was a good 15 minutes before I could come back out.
Sitting on the side of the pool.
Little budgie smugglers.
How bad's that?
Oh,
When you can't get out of the pool?
Aye.
How many times you just try and
Tuck it
bend
up?
the life with it?
Oh no, I'm tucking it up.
No, but do you try and bend it to get rid of it?
no.
No,
Do you?
bend
Double
it.
bunny ear it. Double bunny ear in your
Bend
dick.
it hard.
Tie it away.
Huh?
How can you bend it hard on?
But you try to get rid of it. How would you try and get rid of it if you had to get rid of it?
Good segment for On the Ball this week. How'd you get rid of that hard on?
We could speak about how'd you get rid of a hard on. I'd send you to the shop.
Right,
You're on fire.
last one.
God.
Dylan McMurtry. Here is an next view for the pod. Took the wee man to a climbing activity for the kids, and there's a fully grown man here taking part.
I do that.
Do you, mate?
Aye.
No.
We'll go on the climbing wall.
I'd do that in the bottle. I think that's good.
Nah, I couldn't do it.
No, you know what? Modern society dictates. You see any adult with kids, what's he up to? What's he doing? It's a fucking scandalous thing, and I'll tell you why. My late great dad, 91 when he died last year, you can ask anybody who grew up in a scheme called Calder Grove in Motherwell, you know where the Aquatech is in Motherwell, inlet behind there, if you like. Big housing scheme that was put up 1974. My dad, to this day, I get drinks bought for me because of my dad, guys that are my age, and Tam, no seen you for ages here. That's for your dad. Because my dad used to hate seeing the kids on our street, hanging about, not having anything to do. And that was long before them day. They were on phones and all that, and you know what I mean, in the house. But when they're out, my dad would do stuff like, get about 20 of the kids in the street, right, we're going to walk to Glasgow from Motherwell, right, away through Bellshill and into Glasgow, train back and everything. Right, get on your bikes, we're going up to the Clyde Valley, and you'd go up there, see all the places that have got all the strawberries, up like Lanark, right, and all that. We'd go up there like a fucking plague of locusts, because you'd never buy any, right? 20 wains up in the bikes with Motherwell, and fucking all the strawberries, you know, and we're all eating them, you know, and then you go up to the till and you just browsing, you know. That would be it, but they must have hated us. But that was my dad. He organised everything for all the kids in our street, and that's how I hate in this day and age, whether it's boys trying to give the kids organised football or something like that, the amount of checks and everything they've to get through.
Aye.
Because no all guys are bad. There's some fuckers out there in this life, and we all know that. But guys that are trying to do kids a good turn in that.
His dad's a lollipop man.
Yeah, is that right?
I started back this week.
How's he finding it, being back?
Tough back, so he said. Struggling with it this year. But
right.
Good job, Matt.
See how these checks?
My uncle did the same thing. My Uncle Fisco Brian, he only had one eye. So he did a one-way street.
No bad. Right, boys, we're delighted to have TalkSport Bet on board us for the season, and they've got you covered with a 30% bet boost every single day. Simply log in, tap the lightning bolt, and put your boost into action.
There's plenty to get stuck into this week with Celtic, Rangers, Hearts, Hibs and Motherwell all in European action in Europe this week.
And keep an eye out for TalkSport Bet Super Boost too. And of course, if you haven't joined TalkSport Bet yet, make sure you get involved. Bet just a tenner and you'll get £40 in free bets when you sign up using our exclusive link. TalkSportBet.com/open goal. Back Scottish football with TalkSport Bet.
18 plus T&Cs apply. Please gamble responsibly. You're in my head now, mate.
He's
fucking done me.
Right, Tam, talk to us. How's the Fringe going, mate? You're absolutely smashing it.
It's been great fun. I love nothing more. You get a mic in your hand, you stand on a stage and that's it, and you can batter away. So the shows have been selling out, which is tremendous because it's a long month. You know what I mean?
But you were saying that you don't do the same routine every show?
No, I'd get fed up listening to myself. And I think and in fact, no, the best thing about the run so far, for a start, you get a lot of folk when they listen to me, certainly with my style of music and all that, they think I'm some old-fashioned guy and that. And the amount of the young team that have been in to see me has been absolutely brilliant. And the other day, I don't even know if it was the day Si you were in, it might have been, but there was a young lassie sitting down the front for South Africa.
Was it?
Right? And it was 4 wee students, 2 wee couples, right? But the minute I went up and I says, you were here the other day. Yeah, we were. And I says, what are you doing? Well, we just really enjoyed ourselves. So after we went up the stairs for a drink, I said to them, I says, tell me the truth here. How much of that show was different for the one? They said it was totally different. Because what will happen is you see somebody in, and I'll give you some example. Oh, Christ, look, Friday there, I looked up to my right with Stephen Thompson and his lovely wife, Joanne, and so I thought, great, slaughter him. And then down to the left, another guy who just last year gave me the guided tour of the Houses of Parliament in London, which was amazing. Stephen Flynn of the SNP, big Dundee United fan. So he was up there, SNP, shooting in with everything that's been happening with them. He's up there presenting a sports scene. So you just go down that road. You don't, all the other shite that's in your head, you leave that aside for another day. So it's been great.
You were hammering the old people at that show.
Sorry?
Remember the 4 old people that were sitting?
There's always some old folk.
Fucking hammering them.
Because see what I forget, the 2 old boys, I forget, because I've been doing off the ball now for 32 years, right? It's a long time to be doing anything, right? But I forget that the old folk that were in that when they were first listening to Off the Ball, they might have been like the age of you boys to now, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And because they always listen, they just grow away, yeah. So the good thing you know about that is, if they enjoyed that kind of humour when they were younger, folk never lose that. It's not because, that's an old guy, we better be very careful with him and just be polite and all that. They love having a gag said about them or being the
That's why they're there, isn't it?
Exactly.
Do you feel now you need to be more careful what you're joking about and saying?
No, in this show.
Yes. Oh no, but even in this, I always say, I make it quite a bit my show. In fact, if it's got any kind of theme at all. Now the show is you need to call your show something, right? Festival and that. So this is Tam Cowan, a pee with Pele, brackets and lots more pish. And that goes back to one of the oldest stories I always tell off the ball. 1998 World Cup in the Stade de France. We had the access all areas. We were there with the BBC. I took a wrong turn, went into the toilets, and 2 minutes clear. I thought, these are a bit smart for a football going. 30 seconds later in walks Pele when I'm stood having a pee, right? And I thought, Jesus God, you know what I mean? But, and anyhow, and the only thing that Pele said to me, guys, do it. He had a wee look. Pelly when I'm having a pee.
Did you have a wee look as well?
And he says, hey, I wish I had a tadger like yours. and I said, really, Pelly? And he said, oh yes, then my wife would leave me. No, we didn't. We exchanged pleasantries because I had my big Bay City Rollers kind of tartan suit on, right? So he knew I was a Scotland fan, clearly, right? But we didn't speak. But that was a good hook for the show because I repeat that story ad nauseum on the radio. So I started thinking, and I was writing them all down to all the people I've met in and out of football and all that, show business people, everything, and there's always great stories about them, and a lot of the stories that you can't maybe tell on the radio. So that is kind of what the show's meant to be about. But what I have, a big pack of cards, like A3 size cards, and I either fan them out and ask the audience to take one, or I just shuffle them and say, right, here's next. I've no used them yet.
Where
and I've
day
done
we
2
gonna
weeks.
go?
Who are the biggest names you've met in?
The biggest? It depends what you mean by the biggest.
You're not Shooter type of,
You mean having as guests or just meeting them?
Just meeting them.
Just meeting them.
Rod Shooter, proper
I
type.
know. Well, Rod Stewart, Rod, I would call Rod Stewart a pal, and that's only because he's an absolute diamond who and I'll tell you how I get in tow with Rod Stewart, right? You remember when I had my wee debacle, my wee incident with the women's football, right? Which was farcical, really, right? I'd been taking the piss out of the men's game by that point for 20 years. I did one column about the women's game, taking the piss out of them, and nuclear bomb went off, right? Now, it was all fine. 99% of the folk that got in contact with either me, the Daily Record, or even the BBC, they were actually on my side when I get suspended for 2 weeks. And what's this all about? Where's the equality? Tam's been taking the piss out of them. But I understand how it all came about. It'd been even worse if something like that happened right now, because the world has turned again. It's taken another, So what happened there was I got an email that came in out of all the other bits email. Hi Tam, it's one of your biggest fans here, Rod Stewart. I never miss your column in the Daily Record, and I'm I think he had a bit of a hard time, and he was just about to do the hydro, right? And he said if you want to come down and see the show and we'll have a drink and all that. And I'm thinking, right, out of some of the emails I was getting in the back of that column, I thought, who's this at the fucking wind up, right? And all I saw was the email address at the time, before anybody tries to write to him, was Sid James. Now, you mind Sid James with the Carry On films? You've seen the old guy with the crackly face, right? Right? He used to get called Sid James. I remember this for reading it somewhere. He used to get called Sid James by pals because he was dead throaty and he had a cackly laugh. And I thought, I wonder. So anyhow, I said, oh, thanks, Rod. Tongue in cheek. I said, oh, thanks. I says, listen, there's my number. Why don't you give me a phone and we'll sort this out, Ping, email. I forgot all about it. A few hours later, my phone goes, hello, my old sausage, it's Rod. Right? It's fucking Rod Stewart. He always calls every day an old sausage. I says, oh, I was going like a battery, right? And I says, so you read the column then? You saw the bit of bother? I was like, yeah. And he gets the record still to this day, Daily Record down in London, right? And he's great on it. I think he just gets it for the football mainly, right? But because he loves his Scottish football. So he took me to the hydro, cut a long story short. He was there to meet and greet me with a wee couple of drinks. And then total professional he is. I always remember him saying to me, and he wasn't being rude. He says, I'll need to stop now, Tam. And he's this thing where maybe a couple of hours before any show, he just doesn't speak. Tries to keep the old throat in good nick, So I get the best seat in the house for the gig. I got the interview with him, and I put it in the Daily Record as a feature, as an interview. And then we just kept in touch. He just says, oh, I love your stuff in the paper and all that. And then what I did, I'm involved with St Andrew's Hospice out in Airdrie. I got him to give us a couple of nice wee prizes for it, And then he just kind of tapped into all that. And he's a very, very generous man. Some of the stuff he's done for a variety of charities. He's, in the past, whatever time that I've known him now, because again he reads the record, Tam, he'll text me that story on page 7, an ex-army boy who had lost a leg and he's needing money for this operation. Can you find out details about him? And Rod just sends his folk checks and all that,
Brilliant.
He's brilliant. He's absolutely, and he loves his football. When we went to see him with the year before last time I was in Vegas, as usual, right, oh, you're in Vegas this year again, right, come up after the show and all that. So he does the gig again. We've got the best seats in the house. Caesar's Palace, the Coliseum Theatre, and Caesar's Palace on the Strip. Great show, brilliant show. We goes round to see him after it, and when we goes into his big lounge and he's got all the folk back room and that, and there and some pals that have come to see him. So he came out to us right away, ran out. It was because I knew he was just like to talk about Scottish football, genuinely. So he's thinking, fuck the rest of these folk, I'm fed up talking about music and all that, there's Tam. So he ran out, big hug, me, the wife and my wee lassie. And it was funny with that, because he says to me, it's Rod Stewart, saying, what do you want to drink? I says, anything for me, a bottle of beer, a glass of wine. Same with Liz, anything, a glass of wine. You know what Wayne's are like? This is Rod Stewart. What do you want, honey? She says, what have you got? You know what I'm saying? Fuck it, a bottle of water.
He's a vending machine.
I'm fucking the waiter. I said, that's Rod Stewart. So anyhow, but the first thing he said, this was bizarre. He said, how do you think the American guy will get on at St Johnstone, Tam?
Wow.
And I went, I've got fucking no idea who they've signed. I said, Rod, I'm out the loop a wee bit. Who's that? Is that a goalie or something? No, the owner. And I went, and I thought he would maybe only be up to speed with Celtic stuff and all that, but he's honestly, he's forensic with Scottish football. He's a great guy.
Right, Tam, it's fitting that you're on this week as open goer back pardoning with Road Safety Scotland, and you actually took part in the last series with Si driving about in the car. You remember that?
I did, and road safety is imperative.
Well, the message we're pushing on this particular campaign is warning young drivers against getting behind the wheel under the influence of drinking dogs at me, Paul.
Tam, you're a man who likes to go out and having a pint, but how much of a no-go is it to then get behind the wheel, putting your passenger's safety at risk and other road users?
It's absolutely crucial. And again, I'm one of these guys. I'll tell you why it's easy for me. See all these boys that say, come on, you can have one, you can have, you know what I mean? Or even worse, they say, what about a zero beer? I wouldn't touch a 0% beer. What's the point? I'd sooner have a Coca-Cola. So I'm zero tolerance when it comes to drink driving. And if I can give you a lesson of it, and this is important because it's easily done, it was Keith Lasley's testimonial day at Motherwell. He invited me up because I'd done all his testimonial stuff for a drink with the family and friends up in a wee lounge. I had driven out to the football that day for the radio, and we've all done this where you have a few bevies but you think, I'm all right, I'm all right. And I mind looking out the window and seeing my motor parked right there, and it'd been very tempting to just, but that is mental behaviour. Never, ever drink and drive.
Never do it.
Not only can it have devastating consequences, but it can also result in a 12-month ban and up to £5,000 fine and 6 months in prison.
So it's a simple message, lads. If you're planning on having a drink on a night out, make sure you plan ahead for your travel home.
Use public transport, book a taxi or arrange a designated driver to get you home safely, Paul.
This is really important. Real roads don't reset. Arrive alive. For more information, visit roadsafety.scot/young-drivers.
Have you had to deal with any hecklers so far at the Fringe?
No.
How do you usually deal with hecklers?
I just slaughter them and make them cry. That's that. And, no, I don't. If you get any, if a heckler, if they've come out with a decent line, see somebody, I've done so many gigs in the past, if somebody just makes a noise or it's just shite or it's like, it's some tedious thing that just gets in the way of your show, then that can just annoy you, you know what I mean? But if somebody genuinely, and there's been loads of folk been great fun. There was a show last week and I happened to mention Forfar, a wee story that happened up to me there. And the minute I did, this guy, fucking everybody shot themselves. I'm for Forfar! And you think, fuck, you know what I mean, mate? Fucking calm down. So what I meant was, I know, and it's as if a guy had never been out the house before, and Forfar got a name check, right? But it's the way my mind works then, I immediately thought my mind went blah, 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 and I remember doing a food review.
His mind every day,
innit?
I remember doing a food review at a place called Sadler's Bakery in Forfar. It was famous for the Forfar Bridies, but you could sit in it and all that. And it was a wee story that happened when I was in there. So that was good. The guy took me down another wee road because I was able to remember that. But as I say to audiences generally, if I had memory loss, Alzheimer's, whatever you want to call it, I would need to stop. I could never work again because it's all up there.
Brilliant.
Right, question for us all. Who would be the best comedians in the Scottish managers? Out of all the Scottish managers?
Stand-up comedian?
Aye.
If one of them had to go up on stage.
Aye. Martindale
would be good. I think you just slaughter people, wouldn't
Aye, it'd be amazing.
Club manager.
Big Elvis.
You know what? Big Elvis.
Martin O'Neill could be good.
Martin O'Neill.
Oh, aye. Martin O'Neill, his best one with me, Martin O'Neill. Tell us this live on the show. We got him on the radio, and he's been another guy that's helped us out with the hospice, incidentally. And Martin O'Neill, we had him on the show, and he says, Tam, when I was in Scotland the first time round, you used to do that TV show on a Monday night, didn't you? Strange show. And you'd that wee man that impersonated me. I says, aye, Jonathan Watson. And aye, straight up was a strange show. But he says, I used to carry at that time a photograph of you in my inside pocket. And I says, why was that? And he says, well, I used to show it in training to John Hartson and said, if you don't stick in, boy, you're going to end up like that. And I was about 18 and a half stone at the time. So he had a great sense of humour. So I got him up there with a mic.
What are any other football players or managers that have came on the show that genuinely were funny?
Oh, God, aye. You know what? I've talked up. I genuinely, because I'm a football fan, and I'm not one to make him blush, but you know, and you probably heard that when we had Andy on that, I talked him up. I said it out loud, and I said to bosses at the BBC as well, I says, Andy Halliday's good, by the way. He knows his football and all the rest of it, you know what I mean? Give boys like that a chance. Stephen McGinn, I think, is another one. Now, I know that...
Stephen McGinn?
I know that, aye, and I know that... No, I'm talking about here the punditry. Right. Wait, now, I'll come on to the funny ones in a minute. But Stephen McGinn, really, really good. But guys like him always want to be involved in football, right? I mean, would you get involved? I mean, you're doing fucking about 18 gigs a week now. You're like Claire Balding, right?
Claire Balding.
Well, no offence with Balding, but I didn't mean that. But I just meant you've got a lot of gigs in it. But is that what you're wanting to do now? You're not wanting to get back to coaching or anything? Are you doing anything?
I've got my own academy, so I'm still coaching every day. Well, not every day, but most days.
Mate, you're punditry then.
Right, but you don't see yourself being in a senior club in the dugout?
Nah.
No. Right.
Bar one comment.
What do you mean?
So, Rangers have not won a game all season up to this point, and everybody's going to melt down driving home for Ibrox, and the first thing they have to do is sign James Tavernier.
Oh.
That's what you came out with.
Do you disagree?
Aye, totally. I mean, because you've actually said at the start of the season, you said you would let him go. It's the right time for him to go.
Aye.
So how all of a sudden that you've not won a game yet is he the first point of recruitment to bring him back?
Because the recruitment's not been good
because you're not going to get somebody. Because you're not going to get somebody elsewhere better in the right back position.
All right, do it then.
See, when I heard you saying that, I thought Open Goal should pick up the phone to Faddy.
But you listen to that. But who's been funny though?
You know what? We brought this up on the radio, and I think in some respects Andy makes a valid point, because I thought it sounded a bit daft first up myself, and then I said it was Ray Bradshaw was doing a show me the weekend, Stewart, Sebastien Pocognoli. I says, where is Tavernier now? And he says, oh, he's unattached, he's not got a club or anything. So it wasn't that daft. You could have picked up the phone, you know.
Are you still double down on it?
Aye. I think he's better than the right backs they currently have.
But the thing is, Andy Sterling's, you can't rely on him to be fit all season, so you're needing to get a right back, and they're looking to be starting almost.
Well, that's what I mean. Go and get one then, because I think that's one of the most competitive positions.
The first thing to do is bring Tavernier back.
Because it's the easiest one to do. So everybody talks about how difficult it is to get business done at this point in time with World Cups and boys going back to their clubs. That's not a difficult one to do.
Do you know though, if he did come back, would he know the weight of the world on his shoulders?
But I think they ought.
And the first misplaced pass or anything, what you fucking...
But he doesn't bother with that, does he?
That's the one thing I always praise for James Tavernier. That doesn't bother him. Seeking the ball away.
Oh, I'll tell you what, as a Motherwell fan, see when I heard Rangers fans almost saying like, all he does is score goals and free kicks and penalties, his defending's no great. Bring him to Motherwell.
Who's been funny? Football players or managers?
Stephen Presley, I was going to say.
He's fucking
Stephen Presley came on to our show. He was out of work at the time. He hadn't even gone to Dundee. And I'll tell you, after him being on our show, when I heard he'd get the Dundee gig, I thought, I really hope he succeeds. Because I like folk. When he came on our show, he did nothing but take the piss out of himself for 2 hours.
Aye.
It was like that,
and all that, and I'm being dead fucking serious and all that, right? And he just took the piss out of himself. And then when I did the Dundee Supporters Association end of season thing in May there, which is, I don't know if you know the venue side, there's a place up in, just as you got into the main bit of the town in Dundee, and at the end of a street on a corner, it used to be a cinema, it used to be a bingo hall, and they've now done it into this place. Might be called just the venue or something.
You must know Dundee.
Because the Dundee Supporters Clubs, there's hundreds of them. There's hundreds of them, right? And so we had the night in there, I was hosting it for them. And Stephen Presley that night and all, when we got him up on the stage, he was now a lot of two-faced bastards in the audience, as I made sure that I said, because I says, and here he is now, Stephen Presley. This is me there. Yeah! I says, you two-faced shower of bastards. And Stephen knew what I was on about, right? And because, you mind when he first went there, it was wild. He didn't think he was going to last, but again, he came up and he just took the piss out of himself. He was absolutely brilliant.
We bumped into him at the airport, didn't we?
Amazing.
A few weeks in.
Love to get him on if he's listening.
He was.
Has he never been on me?
No, he's never been on that.
Wow.
He's been down south for years, isn't he?
Top guy though, isn't he?
He's a great guy.
He was hilarious.
Right, you're going on tour, mate? What made you say, is this your first ever tour?
Well, first organised tour, yes. So when I get the Fringe out the way, I've got another 2 weeks of that yet, so I might as well get the proper plug in for. I've not got many tickets left, but I'll plug it anyhow. So I'm there. It's called 28 York Place. It's opposite the casino and the one that's in the tram line.
Yeah.
As you come up for the Playhouse Suite round that street, it's a beautiful boutique hotel, as you know. Cracking wee bar up the stair. The room down the stair for doing the gigs, wonderful, right? So I'm there to the end of the month, and shows Monday to Friday. I come back, do the radio, reacquaint myself with the family and all that at the weekends. And then I go straight into the tour of Scotland, which is right at the start of September. And it's everywhere for Strathpeffer. You ever been away up there?
Have you done pre-season up there?
Right, it's away up there to away down to Hogh. And the reason for that being, I'm doing it with regular music who have been in the go forever. And they primarily do bands and all that. Name any Scottish band, they've promoted them. And they did all the recent stuff like the Glasgow Bandstand and all that, Billy Ocean and all that, So top mob. And it was only the guy that runs that, Mark Mackey, he came to see one of my shows last year in Edinburgh. His offices are just down for that hotel where I do my gigs. And he just approached me, he says, I really enjoyed your show. Have you thought about doing a tour? And I says, no. I says, but if you, and within days, these guys are like that, right? Sharp cookies. He had a plan out for me, venues and all that, good venues that he's used before. And we block booked September. This was a good year ago anyhow. And I says, right, looking at my diary, to the end of next football season, I've got a lot of stuff on. But then you get into the new season, I says, I could leave September for you. And again, 2 days later, he's back with all the dates and everything. So I'm looking forward to it. I've been all around the country doing individual gigs. And I love going to places, and it's good. The new boys within this, you'll know the same. If you go far away, right, folk appreciate you even more. Mm-hmm. They think, he's made an effort coming up here, and I've been listening to that guy for years and everything, So audiences like that are brilliant. And then, so the tour starts in September, very start of September, down in Troon, lovely part of the world, and then dots about everywhere for a month. Brilliant. And then I'm going to go on holiday.
Excellent. Well, the link to buy tickets for Tam's stand-up shows is in the link in the description box below. Unfortunately, we're now on to Motherwell.
Just quickly, I've seen him 3 times. You are very good.
Thank you.
I love the Blackfriars stuff. When you're with somebody, that's the best.
I'll need to get the 3s in for that. Right, now, how many things have I done for you without looking for a shilling in return? I'd like to do a wee open goal special in Blackfriars where you're 3 of the guests.
Let's do it.
And you know how it works. I'd get the 3s together on, and that's it. And it'd be great because I start back with them monthly in September. We're going to start back in August, one a month down there, normally a Thursday night. I think we're doing some of them on a Sunday as well. And you know the set up there, and bad and all that. It's the same folk that run it and everything. But and we've got a lot of big names lined up for that again, including Derek McInnes, who asked to come back on. And then the minute you get the Rangers job, I text him. I says, "It'll be you. You'll be done." No, I'll come back anytime you want.
Brilliant. Do you know what we should do? The 4 of us should travel on a Winnebago up and down Scotland for a BBC documentary.
How big is it?
No big enough, but that's even better.
And I had one of them. I've had the experience of them. They're great to drive. They're brilliant.
How good
we
would
went
that be?
Everywhere in ours. Everywhere. It was tremendous fun. And we bought ours. How lucky were we? Weeks before COVID kicked in. So when everybody was locked down in the house, no hotels open, no restaurants, we just jumped in the van and away we went. On our way up to Fort William, Glencoe, bag of messages and away you go.
Just remember you saying people are saying you look like Nicola Sturgeon's husband.
Yes. I got all the lookalikes, yes. I used to get Harold Bishop for Neighbours. with my big buffon, Harold Bishop, and then I get Steve Bunting, the darts player.
Nicholas Sturgeon's husband's amazing, right?
But the Peter Murrell, and that's it, you know.
Brilliant.
I'm loving that wee style today, Si.
You like that, mate?
Aye.
Flung us together.
Where'd you buy the trousers, by the way? Where'd you get?
Zara, Tam.
Where would a man get a pair of trousers like that?
Zara.
Right.
I'll give you these after the show if you want them.
No, they're all right, you know. I mean,
Did you ever wear
obviously,
these back in the day?
even I was forced into getting a pair of shoes with the white soles, the sports scene shoes.
Feel like you followed the trend with that?
No, but at least mine, they're Clarks.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right,
Stephen,
Andy, wear them,
like
aye.
Stephen Thompson will spend £350 on his. They were selling like $44.99.
What's your thoughts on Stephen Thompson being a grown man that doesn't wear socks?
He likes tight jeans and all,
tight
doesn't he?
jeans with no socks and...
He's a dude.
I've not
He's a big handsome bastard.
He's
If
a hero. He's an
I-
absolute
if I
hero.
looked like him, I'd do that. Aye.
He's really. I don't think people realise how funny he is.
He's one of the best guys.
One of the best guys you could ever meet, actually.
He is.
And what he
And
does
that's
a lot.
why it goes back to, you've made my point. That's how when he was at the show on Friday with me, you take the piss out of him. Because guys like him are funny and they would expect you. If Stephen Thompson had come to a show of mine and I'd clocked him and hadn't said anything about him, he'd be fucking raging. He'd tell me off, you know.
Have you ever said then to somebody and they didn't take it well, that's well known?
Like even off the ball days of that, like early days.
You know what? We've been so lucky and touch wood. I mean, 32 years. We like to have the right spirit. You know what it's like when you're doing this? We always like to have the right spirit in the studio so that when folk leave, they always say two things, which is I take great pride in. Is that 2 hours already? That flew by, right? No, that's a great thing to say. I mean, I watch this sometimes and it's like fucking a week, right? But is that 2 hours? That flew by. And you think, oh, that's good, you must have enjoyed it. Some things you can listen to in the radio and it plods on, right? Another thing is that if we just know they've enjoyed it, and you wouldn't, once you bring somebody in, it's like inviting somebody into your house for a drink. You're not going to a beauty, like, seriously, you know. You can take the piss, again, we get back to that kind of theme. But no, so we've honestly, we've no MD that's like taking it up and thought, well, I'm never coming on. One of them, the goalie, it was at Hamilton, Cherney. Thomas Cherney. I think Thomas Cherney thought he was going to come on, we were going to make out he was like fucking Dino's off or something, right? Dino's off. And he was noted at this time and he was getting a lot of flack at the time. See how the goalies, when they waste time, they all the studs against the posts and all that and walking about. Worst thing they ever did was allow them to take a by kick for either end. Have they scrapped that now?
No.
They should, why don't they? If the ball goes out there, get the fucking ball and get on with it, right? But so we were having a right go at Thomas Cherney for all the stuff that goalies got up to, right? And I think it might have been a cultural difference because he's originally, where's he? Czech, is he, right? So it might have been, he's not fucking Petr Cech either, that's for sure, right? We probably, I guarantee I'd have made that joke that day as well. But he did take the nap. Stewart always remembers that one for some reason, more than me. Stewart thought he was a wee bit fucking off, wasn't he? But again, I would take him back tomorrow and I'd have a laugh with him.
You've heard the Frank McAvennie story, haven't you?
What one?
On the ball.
Best is amazing.
No, I've not heard it.
The show finishes. The show finishes.
No, it wasn't even our show. It was a few summers ago. Frank was in doing a typical thing they would do in the summer, and there's no football. One of the years, no Euros, no World Cup or whatever. And so Big Kenny McIntyre, my big mate, was doing a series of interviews with great Scottish players and characters and all that. So he was recording one with Frank McAvennie, right? So they're in one of the studios, you know what they're all like, and they're sitting there, and it's pre-recorded to go out maybe that Saturday when they've got a big long sports sound with no football. So they're pre-recording it with Frank, and then Kenny, somebody sticks their head in the door. Kenny, phone call for you. All right, Frank, sorry, I need to stop this now. I need to go. It might be one of the Waynes or something. So he goes away. So Frank is left in the studio himself, but the mics are still live, which means everything is getting recorded. And Kenny got all of this recorded. So he let me hear it, right? Before I told him, and I'm saying this on the record, I says, you better delete that. You better delete that. There'll be laws and all that about recording somebody when they don't know you're doing it or whatever it is, right? But no before everybody's heard it, we've all pushed ourselves, right? Because all you hear, Kenny says, wait to hear this. So he let me hear it. So all you hear, it's all very quiet in the studio. Frank's himself, you can hear him just a wee bit of breathing, that, right? And then his phone goes, right? And he answers it. And then all you can hear is, the neighbours must have thought I was fucking murdering you last night. And I mind being on a gig. I mind being on a gig with Frank. You would imagine.
So good, isn't it? You can imagine him saying it as if
yeah, fucking the big cheesy grin, knowing that he's a top quality swordsman, you know. But but I was pissing myself. But you would think it would be impossible to make Frank McAvennie blush, right? I did it. I think I'm the only person. About 3-4 weeks after that, I was doing a gig with him in Edinburgh somewhere, right? Just a football dinner for a football club or something. And when I stood up, I suddenly remembered that while I was on my feet, right? Frank had already done his bit. I was tapping the bill, obviously. So Frank had done his bit. No bad. But and then I said, when I'm on my feet, I says, oh, great being on with Frank. And I need to tell you this one about Frank. And I said, so Frank was in and Frank's looking at me bemused. He didn't know what I'd heard about it. I said, probably forgotten about it. I said, so Frank was in doing an interview with Kenny McIntyre, right? And I could see him starting to remember it, right? And I said, and Kenny went out the studio and Frank's fucking looking at me, right? And I says, and then Frank's phone went, right? And then by this point, his fucking face is crimson, right? But you know what Frank's like? He was fucking pissing himself the minute I told it, you know?
Brilliant.
Jonathan Watson's Frank McAvennie is the best ever.
I think Jonathan Watson's incredible, do you know?
The clip, I bet you some of you saw it. When we did the old telly show Offside, we did a run of shows at the King's Theatre with it. So it was me, some guests came on, liked the show, and Johnny, who always did a wee impersonation slot, Johnny came on live in front of the audience. And there's this clip, I would urge you to look at it up on Instagram because I posted it no that long ago. And it is just me on the stage at the King's, because I think it was videoed or whatever for a DVD at the time. And I just say, so ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Frank McAvennie. So Johnny comes out to a live audience. King's Theatre was rammed, done up, full maca, the wig, the teeth, everything. And it is just, he comes out and he doesn't speak. And it's like 3.5 minutes. And the audience are just killing themselves. He's just coming out twitching and all that, right? And spotting somebody down the front, a bird and doing all that. And you know what I mean? And he just does that for 3.5 minutes. And the audience is howling. You can hear that I'm howling. Chick Young was our kind of real guest that night. He's howling. It was just amazing.
Did only an excuse come off the back of Offside?
No.
Was that
only an excuse was started. It's the 40th anniversary this year. Now, if you've not done it already, because the 40th anniversary just passed there of Only an Excuse, starting out audio. And when Joy of Joys, when, you know, folk that are watching this who kind of age with me, they'll remember it. There was a boy brought it into us one day at the school, you know, 5th or 6th year it would have been, and we were in the tuck shop with a wee tape recorder playing it, and it was like, wow, have you heard this thing? I mean, my dad bringing it home for Honeywell's, somebody gave us a tape, an old cassette tape, you know, wait to hear this, and it was brilliant, but it's 40 years, so while they're still in the 40th anniversary year, you should get Philip Duffer and Johnny to come on.
They've done the hybrid for us, brilliant, two great guys.
So they did, that's right.
Do you think they'll ever be into that again?
Nah. Do you? I think you're allowed to.
There's no the characters. You know what? And you know the other thing, Andy, I keep saying, we always say this, I say this at the start of every season at Cosgrove. When we get in at the start of a season, I say, right, when do you think it'll be this year? October? November? And what we're talking about is when you've got a grasp of all the names that have come into all the clubs. I don't envy the commentators or the pundits one bit. When you need to know all the names, you need to be able to even pronounce them correctly and all the rest of it, you know. And it normally takes us, sometimes even with Motherwell players, I need a few good weeks of seeing them in the flesh, seeing their names up on the scoreboard, seeing the name in the back of their jersey, just because players in and out. And because of that, gone are the days you'd ever get guys that were at Scottish clubs and Scottish people always for big chunks of time, and you knew them as characters because they were able to blossom. And McAvennie's a great example of that. So it's kind of hard now. You look at it, right, I'm not using this in a anything bad.
Dundee United.
Dundee United, though, right. Maybe one of the teams that barely any Scottish boys, right? So you imagine if you had to ask Phil Duffer to write a script for Johnny Watson to perform for one of the Dundee United players. You know, nobody knows anything about them. You know? So I don't think you would ever get something like that coming back.
Well, on the Motherwell game, yes, we spoke about a bad.
Do we need to talk about that?
We're talking about football in general.
Andy, I'm going to come to you, Andy, on it. How important is it now for Motherwell to get players in we're losing just.
Yeah, I don't know if Tam agrees, but I think goalkeeper, back four, midfield, I think's fine. I actually like a lot of the new boys that have came in. I still think they need one or two at the top end of the pitch. I think they need a striker.
Well, and I think
they need another one.
Because you know what? If we don't get MD, well, the transfer window is September the 3rd, right? So, still plenty of time to do plenty of business. And I've got to be honest, I can't see how a club would not come in for Maz Winisi after what he did last year. Yeah. So I don't want it to go that it waits right to the 11th hour and then boom, he goes, fuck, we've not replaced him. We've not got anybody else in. And the bottom line is, we've got cash on the hip, as Del Boy would say. We've got plenty of money there now. You know, 14 million plus having come in for the Lennon Miller's transfer, which is tremendous. And for the boys that we've lost, you know, Just was incredible. Elliot Watt, I thought outstanding. A sore one for me. Give me your thoughts. I love Callum Slattery.
He was brilliant.
Scored for Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah.
I know it was a peach, wasn't it?
Right
half his side. But
see last year's though, Tam, is that the best football you've ever seen at Motherwell?
Okay. I went to and I never tired of telling this story. Round about this time last year, as we did when the festival's on, we were doing the off the ball from the BBC in Edinburgh, because if you do it in there, it means that there's so many celebs in Edinburgh for the festival, you can get them in your show rather than saying to them, can you come through to Glasgow and all that, you know. So we always do that for a couple of weeks in August. So when I was through last year, I was driving away for the BBC. Motherwell were at Tynecastle, but because I don't know how it's going to pan out with the festival and all that, I didn't have a ticket. I didn't go to the game. But what I was going to do that day, as Andy knows that you can do, I was going to bolt right back to the BBC. I had to get back there in time for kick-off, and you can watch all the games coming in with the sports scene boys, right? So I thought, that'll do for me. So I'd barely got away from the venue in Edinburgh, and my phone goes, and it's Gary Mackay, right? The Hearts legend and new club ambassador. Not. Oh, how you doing? I heard you're in Edinburgh then for a show. I says, you coming to the game? And I said, no, tell him what I've just told you. He says, oh, come on. I says, well, for a start, I'm thinking he's wanting me to get into some director's area. I says, I've got my jeans and a t-shirt. No, just come and I'll get you a seat. So, in terms of the football, and this was very early in the Jens Berti Vogts age, I sat between, couldn't have been any better, I had a seat in between Gary Mackay, who I'd known for years, and another great wee guy who I loved to bits, Billy Brown, right? Mm-hmm. So and he's an ambassador as well at Hearts. I was sitting in between them, and Motherwell raced into a 3-0 lead, of course. And all I heard for the two of them were these wee oohs and ahs, going, every wee pass, they're making all these wee noises, and I'm listening.
Maybe they were touching each other's arses behind your back.
But all they were saying, and Billy Brown said, I've no seen football like that at Tynecastle, Tam. And he mentioned, I can't mind the team, there was an Italian team came to Hearts for a European game, late 80s, early 90s maybe. He says, that's the best football I've seen here in 30 years. And again, typical Motherwell fans know what it's like. We nearly ended up blowing it that day as well. They came back 3 each, fair play to them. And then a save for Big Callum at the death. It would have been 4-3 to Hearts. But the football was incredible. And I still think the best I saw of it was the night that we absolutely roasted Celtic.
You two were there, weren't you?
I couldn't believe what I was watching.
It was incredible.
Was it Celtic away in Europe?
When you looked at the stats in that game, us playing, we're used to, I got brought up in, God, particular way for him, we Tommy McLean, who was a genius. But the bottom line was with Tommy, when you went to Celtic or Rangers, you suddenly went to an old-fashioned 5 at the back. And there was a big guy, some older folk tuned into this might remember, a cracking big guy, Alec Kennedy, big red-headed boy. He then went into the junior game, get sent off in a junior cup final once for headbutting somebody. But Big Alec was in the fringes at Motherwell, and he only got a game when we went to Celtic or Parkhead, because at that point we had big Tom McAdam and Craig Patterson, central defenders, two right experienced boys. But for wee Tommy, going to Glasgow, we'll bring Big Alec in as well, just a wee bit of a sweeper.
Was there any point last year, there was obviously murmurs for the outside, that could Motherwell get in amongst the title race, could they win?
There was.
Was there any point that you thought they could?
Yes.
I don't know.
Because for what I'd watched in our performances against the big two, Celtic and Rangers, and then Hearts, who so nearly were champions, for the way that we'd schooled them in the first half at Tynecastle. So I had no reason not to think that we couldn't have done it, you know.
But you must be buzzing with the club in general, though, how it's run now.
It's great.
Succession plan with managers coming in, players coming in, the style
delighted
of play.
it. And you know what we've been blessed with in certainly recent years, see all the guys that have been running the club, Motherwell diehards, you know the boys that I'm talking about. I go back to boys like Jim McMahon, who's the chairman, and Big Derek Weir and all that. They've supported Motherwell all their life. You move in now, Kirk McMillan.
Is it Kirk that's changed it? Am I right? Is it him that's changed it?
I don't know. Well, it's gone in that flow, and he's brought in like the guys that they're using all the analytics stuff and which is why the last two managers, unless you were a right kind of nerdy, anorak kind of wearing Motherwell fan, one of these guys that forensically knows everything.
Gogsy.
But by and large, Motherwell fans, we'd never heard of Jens Berti. I'd never heard of Alfred Johansson, right? And when MD saying, who do you think's going to get the Motherwell job? I says, I'm no panicking. And I says, I'm not going to give you any names because they'll just bring a surprise. And they've done it again. And I think, yesterday was it was a sore one. It's a missed opportunity, right? And you can't. I really hope, and I would apologise even as a fan to Stenhousemuir if they thought we were disrespecting them, because that sometimes gets mentioned in football. You go what you deserve. You know, the Stenny players, you fired them up. We think, no, we'll just play some of the boys today. You know, it backfired, but it's going to be an amazing atmosphere on Thursday night against the Germans, because they're a good team. I know near can, but you never know.
But is it about that? Like, I almost look at like the Hearts Benfica game. There couldn't have been a Hearts fan in the world that thought the Hearts would beat Benfica.
No.
But it's just kind of enjoy the occasion. They go to Tinkers, you get a one each draw, and they were brilliant.
I know.
So it's almost the same for Motherwell. Like, get 8,000 like they had last week, potentially more, and have a day.
I think that is
how good were they on Thursday?
I know, that's the only positive I'll take out of this. That's the only positive, because that guy, even like wasn't a bad sweary, but if you saw his post-match interview, he says, we'll be pissed tonight, but he meant like pissed off. I thought, when I heard it first, I thought he meant we're just going to drown our sorrows and then we'll get over it or something. That might have been a different way of doing things, good old Scottish way, but he says, we were pissed tonight, you know. And they'll all be pissed off with that. And I just wonder, is that the wee thing, the wee kick up the arse, to use that phrase again, that they might need for Thursday night?
Do you think they could have another season as good as last year? Under this
Yes.
guy? You do?
I do, but I totally agree with Andy though. I'm quite happy with the team right up top, because the way he started, 11th hour again, September the 2nd, I wouldn't be amazed if somebody came in for him as well.
I'm not saying he's the best player in the league, but he's the best player to watch.
He's so exciting.
He's
But
the best
the only
player to
thing,
watch.
I don't think the model at Motherwell, I don't think the way we operate, I don't think we're going to pay money for players, right? But I think we're in a position now, and I know they talk about, you can't break the wage structure and that could upset the apple cart in the dressing room and all that. But we're surely in a position with the money we've brought in that we could attract a couple of decent players, you know. I don't know who they are.
Said, see, up to the box, he's unbelievable, mate. But I've always said he's one of the worst finishers I've ever seen. But
he's adding goals,
but he's finishing
some of the
this
stuff
year.
he did last season, you're right to the final touch.
Yeah, we could buy 4 or 5 people have been bundling after him, and then he'd put it by the post. But then this year he scored his 2 belters.
See the boy,
on Thursday.
he's been out injured for ages. The long name he came
AP
with.
Stamatopoulos.
No, the other one up front.
Aitor.
Right.
Aye.
What's he like? Because we've barely seen him.
So he was one that, like, I don't know if you'll remember, at the start of the season, everyone just thought it's Motherwell. So that, like, they would come after you, or they would sit off. They wouldn't really know a game plan of how to beat you. So they were just like, we should beat Motherwell and play. But then, as the season went on, every team ended up trying to go man for man against us, how we played. So Jens brought in him as like a different profile if you can maybe try him. So that's the type of player he is.
I'll tell you what, two guys that get so much praise last year, Big Stephen O'Donnell and Paul McGinn, they could struggle to get back in the team.
Stenhousemuir have been good.
Because they've been very, very good at the back, you know. But totally agree, we need some bodies up front.
Did you watch this man? Sorry, mate, in the European away?
No, just about. Do you think Motherwell can do the same?
I think as it stands, Motherwell will finish top 6. If they sign 2 really good at the top end of the pitch, top 4 is easy as possible again.
And by the way, to go back to the talk about the manager, or was it the young guys that come in yesterday, who you pointing the finger at? The game that we all Motherwell fans remember with Paul, of course, when you come in against the Albanians, nobody knew. I thought, who's this wee guy? Nobody else knew who he was, but he grabbed his chance, and a lot of Motherwell fans still remember that, right? And so I tend to agree with what you're saying.
You at the game? The away game?
The players in Albania?
Yeah.
No, I don't think there was all red tape stuff and that. I think there was the guys that, every club's got them guys that said, I've not missed a single match for 50 years. There's always folk by hook or by crook get to a game. But that was just a turn off right away for Motherwell fans. But what I'm saying is...
That's how you done well.
He get chucked in. He get chucked in and he took his chance. Exactly. So I'm sorry, but the young guys didn't grab it yesterday.
No, but we took our chance. We're doing it in the Europa League. The boys are playing against Stenhousemuir and Rangers. We're doing it in the Europa League. And
the manager, it's not the manager's fault for
How did you go for that?
The boys should be able to.
How did I go for that?
How'd you kick on?
But do you remember that we played Stoy Bucharest after that?
Aye.
That was unbelievable.
That was great. What a trip that was. That was brilliant. You've been to Bucharest?
No,
what
Bucharest?
It's the hotel, mind the hotel? Everybody was in the big, it was a beautiful big hotel, but you went, dear old John Swinburne, you remember John? Commercial manager and stuff at Motherwell, director. John had just got a new hip. John was a good old age, but he'd been dying to get a hip, right? John was in his 70s. But we went out a walk the morning after arriving there, and it was a thing about Bucharest, that this 5-star hotel, we'd done the charter flight for the fans, right? And so we all just booked into the same hotel, made it easy, right? And you think, no, I don't know, Romania, Bucharest, don't want to stoat about, So we went there, but Bucharest, beautiful, beautiful city, but one of these cities where you went 100 yards for the hotel, and it was, wow, it was, it was terrible, the poverty and that, it was awful, but that was a great trip. And
he was excited to him, was he up there with Faddy in terms of excitement, a young player coming through?
Genuinely with that game that night, because it was like, where did we get this boy from? There was another, I don't know if you can remember, there was certainly another couple of guys that came in that.
It was Jim Gannon, Jim Gannon played all the young ones and just bombed
Murphy
was playing.
Aye, so it was great, and you love when you see that in a player, because at Motherwell, when it was forced upon us when we went into administration, right? The company, not the club. I always like saying that. When we went into administration, and the players that were forced to come through, the young guys who, and they were like Stephen Pearson and all that, and Faddy himself, because Terry Butcher had one arm tied behind his back, so he had to play these boys. And lo and behold, they were good enough, and they became stalwarts, they became legends indeed, so
we're not seeing the players now though. Your Faddies and that, we're not seeing them at all, and then I wanted to get the boat, mate.
What, right now?
No, not right now, but I said that in the cooking show, didn't I? With Bodo Glimt, they're playing all the Norwegian players, and I know I keep repeating myself, but it's mad to think if Celtic and Rangers were qualified in the last 16 of the Champions League, playing all Scottish players, it just wouldn't exist. I said that exact point on the cooking show, so I don't want to repeat myself, but I'm so big on it right now.
Fondest memories, Tam? Slaney or Andy, who have you got fonder memories at Motherwell?
Oh, Andy. Well, what I really liked about Andy was that when he was one of the biggest supporters of the club and the players, even when he wasn't playing, you know what I mean, which I always respected. And in terms of being an experienced player and all that, I knew for a fact, it must have been good still having somebody about, but I think you knew fairly on this season that you weren't going to see a lot of action, you know what I mean? But I've never kicked a ball in my puff, I've never been in a dressing room, but I'm guessing it must be good to have a boy like that about, and it's just, and what I think is great about Andy the news that because you're doing so many gigs, that whether it's who you doing it, so BBC, Open Goal,
Premier Sports,
once
Radio Clyde.
Babe
what I like is that he doesn't, because he's now operating with them, that he doesn't give a wee apology to Rangers TV.
Where did you stand on that?
Good time. Come on, hammer him.
You stuck up for him, I heard you.
Folk, I was fucking growing up with that. I says, look, if he was a big mad Rangers man and he was hating the idea of Rangers losing, he wouldn't have fucking scored the goal.
Exactly.
It was mental. I bet you still probably regret it though, didn't you?
I said I regretted doing that. I don't regret no celebrating, but I regretted doing that because that does come across as sorry, but that's obviously no.
But the point he said, he scored the goal.
He scored the goal. It was a fucking lung-bursting run to get into the position. He scored the goal. So for him to say, I couldn't understand that. And I would have said that, by the way, even if it wasn't a Motherwell game. See if it was the same scenario, two other teams and that, I would have still backed the guy.
Is he the best pundit in the country at the moment?
I think Andy's brilliant. I did talk him up to the bosses at the BBC. I did. And I do that with folk that I really like. I did it the other day with Connor Salmon. Have you had Big Connor on the show?
Is he good?
Connor has hung up the boots, right? That was him finished with Alloa. His stats at Alloa were brilliant. Now, I know you could, it sounded like he played for them in total 106 games in it, 36 goals. That's no bad.
Bang average, no?
Tam, that's not great.
36
It's a fucking striker.
What? That's a goal every 3 games.
Yes.
I thought it was all right, right?
Who gets fucking joiners and buckets?
Well, I thought that was all right, right? I thought that was decent, right? But anyhow, all I was going to say was he did the show with us last weekend, and I thought he was brilliant. And then what he's got, the wee slight, there's still the wee Irish accent and that, the wee, and the broadcasters love
nice
all that. They love a wee, you know, I think of the boys, you know, who and like Killie and Sheridan's another one that I've talked up. He's got a great accent, you know.
That's your
and the wee Irish accent. Stephen Craigan, of course, is gradually going a wee bit. And the boy who's the boy that I'm forgetting about? Irish accent that they used a while back. He was at Dundee United and he's still playing. He's at Montrose.
Oh, Sean Dillon.
Sean Dillon.
Good guy.
Sean did a wee bit of punditry and it was, I bet he gets gigs because his voice. It's a lovely voice.
You were saying that the other day, you like Tom English, yeah?
Aye, Tom. I think him and Andy are really good.
But Tom obviously coming for the journalist kind of background, but in terms of the ex-players, and there's so many opportunities out there for them now, because every man in their dug, right, you get in nice and early, which is why this has been so successful. But every day, you know, everybody's doing a fucking podcast. Another one. So they've all got opportunities.
How much abuse did you get from him, player of the year?
Oh my God.
Excuse me, no abuse.
No, sorry.
No.
Jokes.
But,
you loved that though, didn't you?
I did. But I always remember like the first year I was half expecting it because I obviously played a bit. I did all right that year. But the second season I'd hardly played under Jens, so I was like buzzing. Said I've got a break and somebody else will get it and I'll be able to enjoy it. It was even worse. Second year was even worse.
What made it easy? The apology made it easy. So the first event we had after that, Player of the Year, that was easy because I says we now come to one of the most prestigious awards, the Players' Player of the Year, who the players voted for, you know. And I said, you know, and I says Andy Halliday, he obviously voted for Tavernier. So that was shooting in or something like that. But all the Motherwell fans that night, because a lot of them were still talking about that. And again, I think there must have been so many that come up to you and said just what I said about all that shite. It was like, he scored the fucking goal.
But Tam,
what?
You used to get Bevis McAvennie at stink.
Oh, aye, big.
What did he say?
Oh my!
Big bomb scare. Oh, he was. He was. No, I loved him.
Like how he played as a football player.
Oh, aye. I mean, mind it was a game. Was it against Hibs and he gets sent off in like 45 seconds, and it was a big another missed opportunity for Motherwell. It was a big, I think it'd been moved to the Sunday. I'm sure it was on the telly. It was a lovely day. Was it the Scottish Cup, the League Cup? I can't mind anyhow. But it was a big scything challenge in the first minute. And he gets sent off and you just thought, oh, game over. Down to 10 men right away, you know. So he was like, but the only reason, again, I did it with him, because the first, and this is always crucial, same with an audience at a gig, the first time I ever did a gag about him, a wee gentleman, it would have been, he laughed like fuck. So you thought, oh, the big man's got a sense of humour, great. And that's the same. Stephen O'Donnell, who's sitting with his cappuccinos and a fucking night out, he's easy to roast as well. As long as you've got something to play with, then that's it, you know.
Did you say anything about Big Jens?
Oh, aye. And he was very good, because I sat with the organisers and that, so they were with the manager and that at the last one there. So it was Jens, his wife, she was great fun as well. And he's Jens' assistant.
Max.
Totally forgotten about him. He's where's he? Is he away with him?
No, he's still at Motherwell.
Oh, is he?
Still at Motherwell.
So what's his role at Motherwell?
He's just working under Alfred Johansson now. Alfred Johansson.
But it's number two?
Number two, aye.
Oh, I didn't. All right, I've learnt something.
Oh, that's a gag for you and off for the next one.
The reason I wouldn't have known that as well, because where we sit immediately above the dugout, so you don't really look in there, you know. But anyhow, I'm glad you told me that, because I liked him. He was good fun. So that night, when I can't mind what it was with Jens, but when I came back down, I just thought he wasn't not going to understand it. But his English is brilliant, and even though Scottish guys, we all talk like fucking Rottweilers, you know what I mean? But he was dead. He says, oh, but that was really good. That was really good.
He's some aura, didn't he, Jens?
Aye, had a bit of aura about him, didn't he? I'm obsessed with his team talks at Toulouse now. Do you watch one on the weekend?
Is he doing well?
I think he is doing well.
Is the league
started yet?
Next week, innit?
Is it right?
I must be honest, I say this all the time, but you'll understand why he's a Motherwell fan. Some fans of some clubs foley other players and managers own their careers when they go else. When they leave Motherwell, that's me, I'm done.
I will keep in... I would like to watch them next year.
Toulouse?
Aye. I think it could be
it's a vlog, innit?
Aye, it'd be great to go there and catch up with him.
Right, talking to exciting managers, Paul, take it away.
Huge news, Scotland appoint Sebastien Pocognoli. Is that right? Have I pronounced that? I'm
not sure yet. That's one of them I'm saying about wait till October.
I'll be honest with you, lads, I'm really excited about this one. He obviously won the league with USG. He then goes to Monaco, finishes 4th, I think it was. Was it 4th? And then I do think they might get rid of him. But that's not a bad thing, finishing 4th there. But I think he's going to be really good, and I think it's exactly what this team need. This type of manager.
It's like Jamestown Analytics again, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've just plucked. I hadn't heard of the boy. I know he's got a fairly decent pedigree, but I don't get involved in that sort of football. But it's like a Motherwell booking. Yeah. It's like we just plucked this guy, and he's 39, and you think, but what I think it is, I think then, right, guys, last chance saloon for the boys that were out in America. Because, right, if you can't date now under a manager who's stated he's going to play attacking football, and there was everything about a wee bit like Asker or maybe even Johansson at Motherwell. And I'm saying, right, we'll give you one more chance then. Because the summer was absolutely dire, right? And it was a bit of shared responsibility. And you're saying, Stevie Clarke, many times did you hear the phrase, take the handbrake off? Everybody kept using it, take the handbrake off, have a go, but... as great a manager as Stevie Clarke had been, he was far too cautious. But it's the last chance for these boys then. You think, right, we've got a manager in that's going to allow you to express yourself and attack and all that. Let's see what you're made of. Because we kept talking about these boys as superstars.
Anybody's
talked them all up.
Yeah, same as Slaney.
No, I'm the same as you. I'm genuinely excited by that appointment. And it's funny because you were talking about the current crop. I think, see if you're the other ones that are on the periphery, I think they're buzzing. Because there was probably a feeling under Steve Clarke that
boys like
Lennon Miller, Kieran Bowie, Robbie Ure, Ollie McBurney. I think these guys will be buzzing because Steve Clarke, he was almost married to the boys that done well from Winty, and a lot of them would just get in the squad. And listen, you can't go against it because they were successful, but I think there's an opportunity for me, like your Lennon Millers and that to come in now.
Somebody brought Berti Vogts as a reason why it shouldn't have happened. I mean,
it's just ridiculous.
I know, fucking hell.
I mean, what even is that?
Who brought up that?
Who was it that said something about Berti Vogts? It was in the paper yesterday. You brought it up before the show.
What were they saying? What were they saying about Berti?
For fuck's sake.
So they said foreign managers don't work because Berti Vogts didn't work.
Berti Vogts, I still think we should have held on to him for a wee bit longer, right? We know that he was giving out caps like Smarties and all that, right? He was accused of that all the time, right? But this guy had won the World Cup as a player and a manager. This guy wasn't a dud, but it was a bit of a culture shock, I think, for too many folk to have this German guy in there. And I just wonder, folks still say to me the same way at Rangers, Paul Le Guen, folks say to me they should have been patient with these guys, they should have been
patient. Was that with Nancy?
Nancy, I had to give Nancy longer at Celtic.
Would you?
Definitely.
We wouldn't have won the league. So that would have been absolutely honking idea.
But he'd have progressed. There'd have been progression there.
I would still have the aforementioned.
If Nancy had the players that Celtic have got now, that have signed, they'd be better than now.
Oh, God.
See, I just hope that this guy gets time. Now, I know we've been critical.
3 games in him, it's not great, you want him out.
Aye, 100%. But you think Steve Clarke, 7 years, first 2 or 3 years, there was progression, but it wasn't great, right? It took them, 4 years before they got to a major tournament. I think under this guy, it's going to be a completely different style of what we've seen for the previous 7 years. He needs a bit of time. He's gone straight into.
But you know what?
He's gone straight into a camp.
And see if he'd have gone into his older managers would have gone in with friendlies and that before the competition. I think that's a good thing about the Nations League. Nobody understands how the fuck it works. Like nobody does, right?
You're like a guy in the pub there.
Nobody knows, right? But at least they are competitive games.
Yeah.
So he's right in there. If it was friendlies and let's say, he did really well and everybody's saying, well, the real stuff's not started, and then if he did really badly, because it's Scotland and because the way we are in Scotland, he could have been under pressure right away for games that didn't mean it.
And what's good
he's better getting right in there.
It's 4 games and it's a longer camp.
Who are we playing first?
First game, Slovenia, Switzerland, North Macedonia.
Right.
And you're also hoping that it filters down for the first team down to 21 cities. It's got to, hasn't it?
Aye.
It's got to happen. Who's got a 21's job yet?
I was just going to ask you that.
You? I'm no joke.
Would you take that?
I would love that, mate. I love it.
That's perfect job, I think, for you.
I would love that Scotland 21's job. That'd be a great job, wouldn't it?
Aye.
So what's Mulholland's job?
Chief Football Officer. So he's part of the process, him, Maxwell, all these guys.
Well, I think the appointment's good, but the boy you were referencing, that you said that before the show. I won't name him, but he said that the manager needs to bring in Scottish coaches.
Why?
So he understands it.
Understands what? You pass the ball to each other. Is that different in Scotland? Is it different here? It is.
Don't dilute it.
What does that mean?
If the guy wants to bring in his own boys,
Some shout that.
go for
exactly.
it.
See, this thing he knows the league. What about the league? Jens came and never knew anything about the league and pissed it.
Big
he knows the league. He knows. Oh, what a load of shit.
I start with Ange. Go. Where's he away to now?
He's in Saudi.
Saudi
Arabia.
Ronaldo.
When
he in a broken Saudi accent the other day.
Ronaldo, mate, didn't
Mate,
when that's the Wally with the brawly, mind him doing all that at press conferences. But when we were talking at the time, I thought we had cracked it, the dream team, when we were talking about it on the radio, and they were all effectively available at the time. I just thought the dream team for me would have been Ange Postecoglou, assisted by John McGlynn and Faddy. And I just thought they'd all have great respect for each other for what they've all achieved, right? And it would go round like that and round like that, and then Ange blew it by getting a gig. But now we've got this guy in, I totally agree with you, Si. We don't need, but we'll need to have Scottish boys weigh him and all that. And no. Let this guy bring in exactly who he wants.
Did you interview Berti Vogts?
Yes, out at a World Cup or Euros draw when we were still doing the old telly show, and we went out to one of these Swiss cities where they do all the draws and all that. So we interviewed loads of all the managers and everything, and wee Berti was one of them, and he was great. And I mean, I was the age that I knew. I couldn't remember really seeing him play or anything like that, but I knew the pedigree this guy had. It was a great bit of respect, but I don't think he had. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he just didn't have the players in that era.
No, it was a bad.
It's all about the players.
Your best Scotland interview with a manager's Walter Smith coming off a bus, isn't it?
Aye.
Hilarious.
Was that premeditated?
No, we were up for the telly, and Scotland used to, I think they used to travel about with some of the under-21 games just to let the kids know that see Scotland players. Might even have been the full Scotland team, a friendly or something. I can't mind. Nobody ever remembers it for that. But we were hanging about, and we thought we'll just grab for Vox Pops whoever we can get. And then the bus pulled up, and off came Walter right away. So we got Walter, and then the minute I saw Ali, I thought, right, if this needs perking up a wee bit, Ali's your man. So we brought Ali in as well. I think he charged us £50,000. But Ali came out, and between the two of them, and it was only that we saying it, but the minute Walter Smith said, I love a Brazilian, I thought, here we go. That's a day me for an hour. So Walter was great fun, and I always got a wee bit. I just thought he was a lovely man. And his wife still goes to the same hairdressers as my wife, and they're right blathering about that. And it was lovely because his wife always says, oh, Walter, he loved your Tam and all that. And the last words Walter ever said to me, which was lovely, I had done the Fit the Writers dinner, and Walter that year had been they always got a serious speaker, the keynote speaker, and it's because they're meant to talk about grassroots football and let's bring the boy, right? But that's the way it works, right? You've been at these events, right? And then they put on the turban, right? And when I did it that year, Walter teed it up beautifully for me because his speech, it was really, really serious, and he knew that, and he sat down and he says, fucking, I was too, But I says, you don't mind if I'll make a wee joke about it though. He says, on you go. So I got up and I fucking slaughtered them, right? And everybody was howling because they were letting the energy come back out, right? They knew it, Walter, it hadn't gone well. But then when I sat down, these were his last words to me because I never met him again. He was sitting to my left and he just kind of gave me a wee slap in the leg and he said, that was brilliant, son. And it was just,
that's unreal.
It was one of the things that you just remember, And I'm saying that as a Motherwell fan, but just a nice guy.
That's class.
You like Brazilians?
Don't mind him.
Don't mind him. By the way, he was on fire Saturday night, we need to say.
Were you?
I've never seen anything like this. I don't know what was
hanging off him.
I know, I don't know what was
He's fucking just flying.
Honestly, Tam, I don't know what was
You're
going on.
looking good, mate.
It was amazing, mate. I just couldn't believe what was
everywhere.
How did you feel?
I went top of the world.
But all you speak to him about is Martin O'Neill. You heard about his health, you heard how he is.
So I was in a discussion with a bird saying, will it be 20 points or 25 points we win the league by?
Well,
we're on Rangers.
All right, okay.
Are you winching now? Are you dating?
Good question, Tam.
You're not getting any younger. You need to start thinking about.
No, well, no, I don't.
What age are you now?
34.
Right.
It's time to now settle down.
Somebody to look after you.
I actually need somebody there.
You want kids?
Oh. He knows. He's. I bet he's got hundreds of kids.
Is he fucking, honestly, is he fucking wild?
I'm saying eventually you want kids.
I mean, eventually, I think.
Well, not eventually. Ginger Waynes will be all around about Scotland and Holland and all that.
Drinking cans of Monster.
Yeah, you give him a fruit shoot and a rusk and they go. You can tell they're only that size as well.
Is he for real? Honestly, he can't sell it. No, but I'm in a fucking good place.
What would you call it then? Maybe something Celtic related on it.
Caesar.
Wilfred. Caesar. Caesar.
That'd be fucking Caesar Slaney. That genius, innit?
As in tribute to Billy McNeil.
Aye.
So make sure you spell it right.
How'd you spell it?
His nickname's Caesar.
Wait, how'd you let him spell it, Tom?
Right.
Ceasar.
No, see, that's like Julius Caesar.
Caesar.
Or Caesar salad.
Culture, that.
Caesar. Billy McNeil was named after Cesar Romero, who was a big actor for the 60s. And Billy was seen as quite a big flash guy, and they thought the players thought big Caesar's in, because he was a big, good-looking dude, you know. So a lot of folk, I hate when I see that, particularly if they're Celtic fans and it's a Celtic event or something, if they spell it, because Billy McNeil, what a great guy he was.
Just spell it wrong.
Did you meet Billy?
Met him a couple of times,
No,
he was my agent for a bit.
Oh, was he?
Great
Well,
guy,
I'll tell you what, I used to sit with him at the boxing every month. It was Tommy Gilmore's club then, right? Now Ian Wilson, the St Andrews Sporting Club. And Tommy would put a few folk for the media, the FIP or whatever together at one table. And I invariably every month get sitting next to Big Billy. And what a lovely, humble man. There's a guy, first British guy to lift the European Cup. And all he wanted to do was, you're a father now, Tam. How's that going? You get any photos of the way? No. He wouldn't talk about himself. He was just an absolute, a class act. And that's what I'm saying. There you go. That's two I've mentioned, him and Walter Smith, right? I hope that the current crop of players, it's something to remember how you conduct yourself with the fans, how you conduct yourself when you're out and about, because fans who idolise people like them, they'll always remember it. Any communication you have with them, they'll remember it till they're an old man.
And how do you think Paul Slane fans think when they see you out and about?
Mate, he was brilliant with fans Saturday night. Loved it. I gave him every one of them.
Aye, but I actually, if you feel good when somebody asks you, but what they can't do is fucking be grabbing your boot and all that, slapping your head and grabbing your shirt and all that.
See, because they'll see you're right, as he's just a big daft galoot, he likes a carry on and all that. You're right. I've
said that before. I hate the headlock one. I don't like that.
You do feel like it's good. See if you're waiting. Nah.
But engage with it, as long as you engage that. Going back to my shows, right? I'm going through this afternoon, doing my first one back. So there'll be like, what is it, about 180 folk at the venue. 180, that's quite decent, as you'd call it, at East Kilbride. But we've got
full house again Saturday, mate.
We've got 180 in.
600-700.
And if 180 of them got to the bar after it, I'll make sure I'm up there for a long time.
Talking to him, I've seen you doing that.
If anybody wants to come up and say,
how was we Strachan on it?
Oh, bro, now Strachan,
he's funny. He's the funniest.
The day they're doing all, it's the reason I was doing that with Strachan. The same promoters as that are putting on my show, Carnation Productions. They also had a series of In Conversation withs, right? All different folk, political folk, everything, right? Poets, journalists, everything. But two of them that they're doing, one was with Stuart Cosgrove and one was with Gordon Strachan. So it made sense. They said to me, will you do the interviews? And I said, aye. So the one with me and Stuart, one was a breeze, off the ball fans that ran, that was a great laugh. And then with Strachan, though, I knew that I would only have to, I could have just started up by saying, so Gordon, Sir Alex Ferguson, and that would have been newer done. He'd have gone in 101 stories.
Incredible,
and that's what he was like, the love for the audience. As guys were coming into the venue and we were outside or whatever, and I'd see them, all the accents. I thought, you've come for Aberdeen for us, haven't you? You've come for Aberdeen, you've come for... They love him, and they'd all come to see him, and the stories are just different class.
He is genuinely funny, isn't he?
Oh, he's great. He's great.
He's sharp as fuck,
Quite witty, didn't he, and great stories.
Well, we're on to Rangers. Best performance of the season, I thought, yesterday.
What a goal.
Oh my God, incredible.
Watch that one again.
That was, what a strike that was. I think the formation definitely looked much better.
What did the formation give them?
Mercury Trollside, and I think the personnel was better. I think Chukwani in there, Raskin, Devlin no playing, and I don't want to keep on going for Devlin, but I thought the personnel for that game to the other games was much better, and I think that's why you've seen a much better performance. That being said, St Mirren were so open at times when they were so open, but But you can't. I thought Rangers were really good.
I don't want to put a negative on it, but see the fact that it is most of the players that were playing last year that came in and done really well. Does that worry you going forward with recruitment?
I mean, I still thought Yokota looked lively in the first half. I know he came off at half time.
He's a cracker, by the way.
I think Driouech and McAvennie were really good, and I thought Penrice was arguably one of the better players.
So tell me this, you boys will have noticed this, I wouldn't have. Who then that get dropped yesterday will struggle to get back in?
Will Shankly come back in, do you think? Or did he not get that shirt until...
Well, I think what we've always said, haven't we, that Lon Shankland is definitely suited to a partner, no doubt whatsoever.
Aye.
But I agree with you in terms of, I thought the shape suited Rangers so much better than the 4-4-2. Said last week, I thought the 4-4-2 for me, with the personnel they've got, is too rigid.
Yeah.
So there's no fluidity. When you watch Celtic, there's rotations, there's fluid movements, there's guys running behind, coming short, pockets of space. Yesterday with a 4-3-3, Driouech and Chutwani are playing between the lines. But when the ball breaks down, they've got a holding midfield player. That being said, Nico Raskin's just never a 6 for me. And a million, honestly.
Chutwani be better player than Andy.
Why do you think that?
Because I don't think Raskin's got the positional discipline to play his holding midfield, and you actually take away a lot of his strengths.
Strengths going forward.
He's going forward and getting after people and getting in the box. I just don't think he's got the discipline to play that role.
I think Dale has got it. I think, and I love Dale to bits, but I do think that he's got it wrong since he's come in with the style of play, the formation they've been playing, and as I said, the personnel. Thought yesterday, and even by the way, see on the recruitment, the board are getting it a little bit. It's the players that it's actually Dale's players you think he's brought in that haven't been really up to the standards yet. No, it's still very early.
As a Rangers fan, and if I asked any Rangers fan this, was that draw, was that good or bad?
The draw, for me, it's good.
Right.
Now, I think Celtic are favourites for the game.
Aye.
But you have a better chance against Celtic at Ibrox than you do at Hampden or Celtic Park.
So if you'd have met them in the final, that's...
So I've always been a mind that if you...
Right, that's a good point.
You always feel like going into a cup competition that Celtic feel they need to beat Rangers to win a cup, and Rangers feel they need to beat Celtic to win a cup. So for me, you'd rather play them at Ibrox.
Home advantage, aye.
With the home
and
advantage.
you think they're going to have a moat at Ibrox with crocodiles in it and all that? Because all that's going to come up again. What's that going to be allocation-wise? Because it's a cup
I think,
game.
is it 2.5? I think it might be 2.5
well, it's going to, we're going to end up getting bored.
Yeah.
Well, I've championed the full allocation for years. I've been wanting to come back, but how can you even argue for it after last year?
Slaney, delighted for Penrice.
Amazing.
A move he's been wanting. Obviously, you've got quite close to him.
You seen me message him, didn't you?
What about that Celtic fan writing all the best to Rangers signing?
Huh?
Wow.
Nah, listen.
Try to cross the divide, aren't you?
Well, no, of course, and it's not. And when it comes to that, listen, you put that aside because the boy's absolutely brilliant. And when I was there, the thing that stood out to me when I spoke to him was his self-belief in himself. He'll go there and without a shadow of doubt, he'll believe that he'll be that best left back at the club, even though Romans is a right good player, but he'll believe he's the number one left back.
He was really good.
He was really good.
He was outstanding.
How fit does he look?
His self-belief in himself.
And I believe it.
Who else could he have self-belief in?
I knew, I fucked that there when I said that. But he's the belief is, aye.
So what is that, a loan? Am I right in saying it's a loan to end the season?
Loan with option to buy end the season, aye.
But he was, what a debut he had.
Did you see in the back of that, we're talking about the bit of bother and all that, the Old Firm game. Did you see the news coverage of the police huckling a Celtic fan away out his house the other day?
No.
And it was
I did see it actually.
Did you listen to it? It was on the news and the reporter says the Celtic fan been led away, hood up and all that. Celtic fan being led away by Detective Derek Johnston. And he thought, well, he's got a bleach in the back of the van.
Is there any chance the Rangers ever getting away tying a cup? I mean, how many's that in a row now? I mean, listen, I'm not into all that conspiracy stuff, but my God, how many fucking home ties are they going to get?
Aye. Well, it's interesting.
How many is it? If you don't mind me asking, Andy.
I think that's 11.
11 in a row?
Aye. At home, aye. But the interesting thing, he says he's not into conspiracies, but we're just about to go into Dundee United Celtic game with a couple of instances that I'm really looking forward to.
No, that's totally fine, but I'm asking you about this. How many fucking home ties can a team get?
Aye,
it's absolutely bizarre.
Aye, just definitely happy with that.
What is the feeling? Is the feeling he's been let down in the transfer window, or is the feeling that he should be doing better with the players that he's brought in?
A bit of both. I think naturally, like, I know I keep saying this figure, right, but the reason I keep saying it is because it's fucking mind. Like, how a club can sign 28 players in 12 months. That tells you that the recruitment team are not doing their job right. It's as simple as that. If you sign that many players, something's went seriously wrong. So
has Dundee United and Rangers got the same people?
Exactly. Aye. But the thing is, where I'll counter that is the squad of players Rangers got should beat Dundee United and Hibs. So Derek McInnes and the players, you need to take a portion of blame and accept that. But the recruitment team, see when Andrew Kavanagh's signing checks, I don't know how he can trust Dan Purdy and Robbie Thelwell with the players that are getting put in front of him. Signed 28 players for 60 million last year. How can you tell me we need another one, another one, another one? But the sad thing is the day, still need 3 or 4.
Aye.
So it's mental.
Paul, PSV winger, what happened there? You've got inside scoop?
No, I've not got inside. He was at the game though, wasn't he?
And that's strange, isn't it?
He was at the game, so I don't know if he's watched it and thought, fuck, I can't go there because we're really poor that night. But as it came out that he's got an injury, is that?
He's definitely got an injury, but my assumption would have been that Rangers knew about that when he was coming after the first scan in Manchester and then go to the game. So
do you think
they obviously feel like they needed somebody to play straight away? And
do you think they even though they've got Shankland there, and if they do go to one up front, do they still need a striker?
They're looking boy for America, aren't they?
Aye,
but do you know what my not say fear, right? But I just think if they sign a striker, they're going to play 2 up front. That's my feeling. If they sign another striker,
they can't keep
Nadiri, Shankland and Miovski. The 3 of them are going to sit on the bench, are they? And a new striker's going to play as a lone striker.
Right, they can't. They can't. And what Dale needs to stop doing is, and I hate it when any manager does this, keep going back to last season. Well, we were struggling last season. Right. You're in a job now. Do your job. What you're doing this. Stop going on.
What about when managers change it when they're winning? Like the European game?
So was Asgard injured in this European game?
No.
I mean,
Dale said in his press after that he felt he was asking too much of Yokota and Gassama, and he wanted to get them on the ball higher up, so on the last line basically, get after people instead of coming back as wing backs all the time. But my thing is they were the 2 best players in the pitch in the first half. If you feel like you're asking too much of them, you take them off after 60 minutes rather than change it at half time, different shape, and then lose control in the game.
You're blaming Dale
and then you can't get the wingers higher up in the pitch because you've lost control.
Rangers go on Thursday?
Jablonec for Czech Republic.
Were they decent?
They finished 5th in the Czech League last year.
Thomas Cherny's their goalie. So no. You obviously know Dale, Tam, after doing the show. I'm jinky is the right man to turn things around.
Again, it goes back to fault that any time Derek, me and Stewart on the show, Stewart still worships him for his St Johnstone days. And again, I just treat people as I find them. I'd known Derek on and off for a number of years. Most likely to see him in Florida, actually. He goes there every year. And but when he came and did my show at Blackfriars, he was brilliant fun. Great stories, right? And he loved it. He lapped it up. He brought his boy with him and all that. And so guys that are like that, I just like seeing them do well. Whatever they do in life, doesn't even need to be football, you know what I mean? But I've got me and Derek back. I remember Derek when he was white. That's how long we got back. Years now. No, so I wish him well. And I think he'll get his hands in a trophy this season.
Do you, Tam?
10 and 6.
What one? 10 and 6.
Is that funny, aye?
Did you hear about that? Hey, listen, because of 10 and 6 is the cup competition, Rangers are playing all their games at Ibrox. Everybody else is at Brahey.
Did you see enough yesterday for a wee bit more optimism going forward?
Definitely, aye. They were miles better going forward.
Oh, aye. That was night and day.
Created night and day chances. Obviously scored 5 goals, 5 different scorers. They've still obviously got a long way to go, but that was...
I think you'd be very disappointed as a St Mirren fan.
Aye.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying Motherwell, right, we're the ultimate disappointment in this round of the cup, but it wasn't, as you say, they were wide open, weren't they? The amount of chances down the flanks that Rangers had at the start, but St Mirren fans, but again, it's like anything else, always a hard one. You go to Ibrox or Parkhead, you're just never expecting, and that goes back to the old foreign managers, the guys that never grew up with Rangers and Celtic seen as winning and don't even know who they are.
I've been saying for years that it's refreshing to me when teams go to Ibrox and Celtic Park with a game plan to win the game, play football, get high up. But you do think going into the game yesterday how with Rangers being as fragile as they are, see if St Mirren took the Falkirk approach where they sat in frustrated and then played when they won it back, they could have potentially got a different outcome.
Same amount of times I've gone with my pals, Ibrox or Parkhead, you clearly are going there to shut up shop and you lose a goal in 4 minutes. And you think, right, what do we do now? There's no plan B,
I like it that he's went there and done that. Why would after winning your first 2 games?
They actually played, they did play some good stuff at times, but they were really open, I thought, off the ball.
He's still early in the door. You need to take a few bumps and bruises playing that way, I think. Why would after winning the first 2 games go and play like that?
I know, but we'd only just comment on that game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and if that's the way you want to go forward, good luck to him.
Right, well, we're on to
But the best performance last year wasn't Ibrox, was Motherwell playing that way. So
But Motherwell didn't play that way. Motherwell dominated Rangers.
I know, but what I'm saying
St Mirren didn't dominate.
Jens was getting beat for Peterhead. Well, people say he never got beat, but he wasn't getting results against Peterhead and Clyde at this stage of the season.
Do you think Craig McLeish is going to start playing at the Jens?
But if he wants to get there, then you need to continue to play like it, regardless of where you're playing. No, I don't think he will, but I think it's refreshing to see that he's trying.
I think it's something you need to be careful if you're getting battered like that. If we're praising that.
I know, but Rangers hadn't won a game either, so why would you not go there and continue to play how you've played?
No, listen, there's nothing wrong with like being more positive and over a game, but I just thought they were so wide open and continually get caught. As a manager, surely you've then got to step in it or see something to sort of change it. But listen, he's a young manager, so he will learn on the job.
Well, what Hugh's done is set up an amazing quarter-final tie with Celtic. 4-0, does it tell the true story of the game, Paul?
Dundee United could have been 2-0 up. I think they hit the post twice, didn't they? But Celtic going forward this season look frightening, mate. You look last season, at times you're watching the game and you're thinking, bar Negan, where's goals going to come from? I know Maida did eventually, but 3/4 of the season, he wasn't great. Even the wide players, you're thinking they're not going to create much. But now with Duran, what he is, by the way. And then the big striker, and then the wingers coming on as well. Now the quality they've added up there. But I must say, I'm more worried defensively getting into this game against LASK. Like without Alistair Johnson, there's a massive drop off.
Yeah.
For that side,
yeah.
I might be completely wrong. I've heard Johnson's a bad one.
6 weeks I heard. What have you heard worse than that?
I've heard worse than that.
Wow.
Is it the same injury as the last time?
I've just heard it's worse than
Who
6
told
weeks.
you?
That's all I'll say. I'm not telling you.
Who was it that was obsessed with injuries last week? Ryan Jacks told him. He knows every injury in Scotland, that guy.
I've heard Johnson's a bad one.
But that to me, like, I mean, and it's not been negative, but Celtic going forward, it seems like they're going to score every time they go forward.
It's just so many forward runners now, isn't there? The intensity, they're so fluid, it's so good.
And they're like clinical,
yeah.
Whereas last year, Celtic still created chances last year, maybe not to the same extent.
Hard to watch to Andy up.
I know, but now it's like he says, every time they go forward, you actually think they're going to score.
But my worry the other side is the drop off for Alistair Johnson coming out and LASK. I know you've sort of painted this picture around the country that LASK are mugs. They won the Austrian League. That you praised the other team for batting hearts.
Are you actually feeding into that?
Don't see we're kidding on, because you had LASK. LASK are a right good side, and Celtic, I'm actually a wee bit slightly worried about it from a defensive point of view. As I say, I keep repeating myself, but without Alistair Johnson there,
try to get this Canadian boy who can play right back as well, aren't they?
Are they?
Yeah, centre mid and can play right back from split.
Well, that's a position they do need to look at, as in for me, and it's Donovan Ralston's here, but I think there's too much of a drop off. You've seen when Alistair Johnson.
What happened to the boy? Was it last season? I'm sure. Did they not bring in a guy for? Was it Mexico?
Rojo.
What happened to him?
He's away back to Bournemouth.
Oh, he's away again. Oh, it just didn't work.
No, it did.
No, he was
Celtic fans liked him, but he was only on loan. I think he cost.
Oh, right. Did he make any impact? I can't remember.
I actually thought he was
I must say, I think it's an absolute. Celtic should be delighted that Engels has went and they've kept Nigel there.
I still worried about Nigel going, mate.
It's all the stuff Camp doing about the.
No, we're going to get to that now, mate.
Right.
What's your take on it? Fair neutral?
Well,
should it be a handball or not?
It should, according to the rules, the goal was perfectly legitimate. And I think fans sometimes, rather just jumping in the back of match officials, they want to maybe read the rules. I know they're forever being changed and tweaked, and and it's hard to keep up. A wee bit we're saying about the Nations League, how does that work? The rules, I don't know what's happened to them now, but you've got to go by the laws of the game. And until I read it again, and Willie Collum coming out and explaining it and saying that if it's the player, only if the player handles it for himself, if you like. Now, it was definitely an accidental. That word's imperative and all that's right. So it wasn't accidental. The boy was halfway down. But they say that any handball in the box is going to now be given, right? But if it's in terms of that instant, because it was a teammate who ultimately scored, then according to the rules, and it still looks bonkers, but according to the rules, it's a goal.
But Bobby Madden,
that shouldn't be given.
The rule changes.
Bobby Madden's came out and said, for UEFA rules, it shouldn't be allowed, but Scottish rules, we Willie Collum must. But what I would say is, how can Falkirk's goal be disallowed the week before again?
Then Willie,
and that counts.
Again, Willie Collum came out with that, to be fair, and he mentioned that as well. He knew folk were lining up for him with that, and he said it was two different incidents.
But it's no. But Willie's for me wrong at that. It's no.
I think Willie's got to be consistent way now, as a lot of fans are saying this. you know, if it was a Motherwell St Mirren game and something like that, I want Willie to come out straight away as well. There's always a feeling that it's only Celtic or Rangers that are ever going to, you know,
do you think you stand?
bow to the masses.
No, that's the handball all day. You can't, I mean, I know it's accidental or not, but when you're handballing the ball, it's setting somebody up to score.
I know.
That can't be given.
But it wasn't like he rolled it to him or he chopped. It was an accidental. So they've obviously gone with that as the rule.
And for me, that shouldn't be standing.
So Scottish rules are different for UEFA rules?
Well, I don't know. They must be, because
Bobby
Willie Collins came out and he's defended the referee. He said the reason.
And what Bobby
Madden's done, obviously, the video about.
And what Bobby's done with his Instagram with that, no, I think
good, that,
good.
I'd love Bobby Owen.
But mate, it's, again, I know this is a key word when it comes to decision, but it's consistency. That for me, that can't happen one week and then the next week is a completely different outcome. Because I completely disagree with Willie. I don't think they're different at all.
You know what?
I actually think the boy at Falkirk's, the boy for Falkirk, I think that probably should stand compared to whose, but they both should ultimately end in the same result, if that makes sense.
I'm just glad it didn't happen in a game that was tight and a game that was a much bigger game. I know you're right, because the bottom line is they might have hit the woodwork, was it 5 times in total, but nobody could suggest that Dundee United were in any danger of getting the 3 points. You know, Celtic were, I thought, pretty good. But again, it's when something like that happens in a really big game, a high profile game, a crucial game, then bedlam.
You don't mind me, you think Duran's going to be a better signing than Hogh?
I don't know.
Sharp,
I think he's a better player, as in I think Hogh's that. I mean, centre forward, he's going to score so many goals. But I just absolutely love Duran, mate. I think he's.
Are you going to shame? You going to shame what you said in the car?
Go on.
Oh no, you better not say it again. I will say it if you don't say it. So you need the opportunity.
Lock the treble up.
What do you mean?
Lock it in. It's done. Celtic get the treble this season.
Wow.
They are just.
What are you basing that on, sorry?
They're the recruitment. And they look much better.
That's a valid point. You look at the recruitment, nobody can touch them. So unless son.
But Rangers have spent more money on them, Tim. So how can they not touch them?
Seriously?
I think so.
No,
since the Americans came in.
last year.
Since the Americans came in.
Right,
but the quality of players they've brought in compared to Celtic.
That's the quality up. Big.
Do you think treble's done? The new?
My first thing was the league's done, but you then went and asked me the treble, and then
you
again,
said that's
of course, Rangers get a home tie against it. Of course, they get the home tie, but I still fancy Celtic today, and I just think they'll be levels above. Again, I say it, they still need to do business defensively.
Even after Hassan's 20 minutes?
Oh, for fuck's sake. That's not the same point.
He's obviously a good player.
It wasn't one of the ones, sometimes you can only sub, you just kind of get going. But Bauer, he'll start. He'll start on Wednesday night. He'll come straight in, I think.
You think they'll beat LASK?
Aye. Fuck.
So see the team that battered Hearts. No. You don't do this as if you're trying to play. The team that battered Hearts, who you praised, they finished behind.
Aye.
They think playing Celtic last. It's last one in the league.
It's not an easy game.
No, it's not at all.
It'll be a difficult game. But as far as Champions League playoff round qualifiers go, it's not a difficult draw either. Keep in mind too, we're seeing that Hearts are playing in the Europa League and then the Conference League, and who Motherwell are playing in the Conference League.
But you don't know
They're
much.
playing Freiburg, Benfica, Rapid Vienna. Celtic have LASK.
No, but you're just saying.
But you can't say it's a hard draw.
It is a tough draw.
But just Almaty last year.
We're not going back to last year. I know you actually get back and bring fucking
Tavernier
back. You actually get back away. We're talking about this season and LASK.
Do you know who LASK's big signing was this summer? Who? Miguel Freckleton for St Mirren. That was the big signing this summer. That's who they paid the most money for this summer. So don't sit and tell me it's a difficult draw for Celtic.
I'm telling you right now that they won that league. We've seen what that team who finished below them in the league, what they've done to Hearts. They've won the Austrian league, so they ain't no mugs. And you've painted it out to everybody in this country that they are, and the pressure's on Celtic now. But I fancy Celtic to do it, but it won't be an easy game.
So, agreed.
Yeah.
It won't be an easy game. Celtic should win. And if Celtic don't get through, it's a shocker. It's a shocker.
No fucking bad as Rangers getting beat with Juggernaut.
Shocker as well, 100%.
They're meant to be. But see, you'll
not see me defending Rangers for that.
See, when Hibs get beat, you done a crisis video for the whole country about shorty football. I didn't see the same video for when Rangers get beat with Jagiellonia. I didn't see the same video, but the Hibs fans had to suffer. The whole country get targeted because they beat that first game. But when Rangers get beat, I don't hear a fucking sniff.
Go on,
I don't have a go.
Can I just?
I don't have a go at Rangers if they get beat in Europe.
I'm in all of you right now.
On the same level.
I'm in all of you right now.
Aye, big fucking cojones, son. Big Big ginger fucking plums, Thomas.
I think you need your hole. Just
Definitely. But I mean, that's
Rangers Jagiellonians are a really poor result. Really poor result.
But I just don't see the same
outcry.
Aye.
By the way, if anything, there's more. There's always more.
I think, Graham, though, in general terms, you're getting that worked up about European ties at this stage. It used to be once upon a time, a generation or two ago, if we weren't getting into the quarter-finals.
But that's where the
raising voices. But that's
where it all comes from.
Does Bauer start?
Aye, he comes in. I'm sure.
You'll now got all the gimpy Paul Slane lovers, man, on the comments. No, Paul was fucking down.
Oh,
fucking hell.
Aye, keep them coming.
Aye.
Keep them coming.
Anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to fucking go?
I go on.
Mate, you're on one. Come on. Don't stop.
No, because this is the Paul Slane I love.
I know it is.
See when you
but
don't
you won't
just
love
sit
it.
and ask
No, but you won't love it because see when it keeps happening every week and the twos are getting fucking tied up every week, you ain't going to fucking enjoy that. So
I'm only here to read that.
Bauer comes in because I read something and it could be wrong, but I think the Ox is suspended or he can't play.
The Ox?
Oxlade-Chamberlain.
You used to say, I thought Oxlade-Chamberlain was good.
He was alright.
Nah, I wasn't. I didn't think it was great. I think Bauer will come in, he'll start, and it'll be the rest. It'll be this. Tierney will come in for Scales, sorry, and then it'll be the same.
Didn't mind Scales left back. That's alright, didn't he? Last question on the recruitment. Are you surprised that Engels went to the English Championship? Do you think he could have went higher?
Aye. He was going to the Premier League in January there. I was going to ask you this.
Still 22 million though, innit?
It's a good deal.
Regardless of the Championship, Premier League.
Should Celtic have waited till after these qualifiers to sell him? Should they be concentrating on
that was Chris Sutton's point last week. And you're right. But again, the way football is now, and you're even saying, does he even know he's in the Championship? Does he know the name of the club? Did he just see how much they're paying him every week? It all boils down to pound, shillings and pence nowadays, you know. So
you'd imagine though that's almost been West Ham saying no, it's new, because I'd imagine that Celtic have asked the question, can we hold off for 2-3 weeks, but this season's this week. So you can't just, plus Celtic turned down more money in January. Now that ultimately looks like the right idea because Engels played at the end of the season, played well and they won the league, so even if it's 3 million less,
well within the right,
take that if you win the league.
Motherwell did that with Celtic years ago when they came in for Phil O'Donnell, the late Phil O'Donnell. And it was wee Fergus McCann. He was desperate to get Phil O'Donnell when it was wanting to pay up in instalments and all that, right? And Motherwell stood for him. And they said, I think it was at the time we were playing Borussia Dortmund. You remember that way back, right? And Motherwell says, look, we've got a lot of big games coming up this young. If you want them, you need to pay up. And they get the full whack out of wee Fergus. So the clubs can stand for him, you know. And I think you're right. I think they've done that with Celtic as well. So it wasn't a question of could they wait until they've progressed or that? No, they say, no, we're wanting them now.
So you given Oxlade-Chamberlain's performance, would you sign another midfielder?
Aye.
You would? Another
I don't know
38 type?
I don't know if the backup is if I would have still signed Bauer if Engels had stayed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think like McCowan and Oxlade-Chamberlain's obviously getting on it, but I don't know if that's good enough to come in.
Why are they conceding so many chances? I know they're not conceding goals, but Kilmarnock had 3 good chances early on. Dundee United hit the bar 4 times. Is it personnel? Is it a shape thing?
Have you seen the style change this season? I know there's better quality, so you're going to see better in the attacking areas, but have you seen, obviously last season we weren't impressed that we were playing, have you seen anything change for your style point?
Well, I think they've got Hogh now that they can go more direct on a high press, haven't they?
You've changed the pronunciation of his name 3 times last week.
I still think they're great at playing out through a press. I think they still get caught playing out, but what they have now got is when teams do that, they can get the ball.
I just think traditionally, and I say this, I'm a Motherwell fan, when you saw the great Celtic teams running out the tunnel at Fir Park, I think you've always got to think we need to have a goal because their defenders were never as great as their attackers. Whether it was a Larson or a Samaras, or
even Decanty and Cadet days and that,
Sutton and all these boys, it was always say, what's the point in sitting back? If they've got any fragility at all, it's at the back, you need to have a go. So I hope that continues this season, because that boy Casper, I think he could score as many goals as he wants.
He could score
he's
all sorts.
Is it too early to make a call for the quarter final? Because you think Rangers will get better from now till then?
I still think Celtic are favourites, aye. Obviously Rangers could get better, there's no doubt.
About Rangers would want to get Celtic now because it's at Ibrox rather than, I think, the final and it's at Hampden. We've got a much better chance, obviously.
No, if no Alistair Johnson, and a big one for me is Cameron Carter-Vickers. I think if Cameron Carter-Vickers is to get injured again this season, I think Celtic are just a completely different team.
Is the quarter final, will that be the first Old Firm game?
Aye, and then it's Celtic Park the week after, so it's 2 back to back.
Will you be there, Paul? Will you be one of the few?
Fucking course they'll know.
I hope you're there. Unless you want to do a live for it.
No.
But I need on the
Back down.
good start to the season.
No, I would rather go to the game.
You going to the game?
Aye, and you'll know.
I'll be going. I'll be there.
Okay.
Anything else on that?
No, I don't want to go too much, you know. Because I feel that I could, but...
How are you feeling right now after that? Good?
Top of the world.
By the way, the Motherwell Freiburg game is just about to kick off, boys. All right.
That's just what you
Is that what you think?
Did I tie up?
Is that what you think? Aye.
It was a fucking spanking.
Amazing.
You said that with real feeling without having to raise your voice.
No,
that could be a new style for you.
I like that.
Just very
Fucking relaxed,
underplayed.
innit?
That was good.
That was great to watch them. Who watched the game Friday night? What a game there, Sir Derby. Brilliant game
Very
of football, wasn't it?
And I
Come on,
thought,
deserve to win, drink, Andy?
off the basis of the second half, probably aye. But I thought Ayr were certainly the better side the first 30 minutes, but I thought Ayr were decent. Boy, Reece Lyon, captain, the middle of the pitch for Ayr was excellent.
Pitch
11 Scottish players.
So much better.
The pitch, what a
I
difference it
hated the
makes,
Kilmarnock pitch, and I'm old enough to remember they used to give a prize out every year back in the day for the best playing surface in Scotland. Killie won it year after year after year. It was magnificent, and then to see what they ended up putting down there, but it looked great the other night, and the best thing about it, what was it, 12,500?
Amazing.
You know, it's a brilliant fixture, that, you know, and it's two big fat batoons. As a Motherwell fan, it breaks your heart to see you'll get the buses leaving Kilmarnock and they're going to Ibrox and Parkhead, you know. That's the way it goes. But if they two clubs, and I right fancy her under Gary Naismith, and everyone's clicking into place at Ayr United, all the stuff they're doing behind the scenes, you know, and that's a big fat batoon. And I think I would have a couple of quid on them for the league this year.
The best thing about it was
McCann.
He's a hero, by the way.
He doesn't take any. He's
Oh
done it
my.
to Gordon Duncan. He's done it to Gordon Duncan a few times, hasn't he? Pulled him up for questions.
I think it's was it the first question he asked?
I don't think it was the first question.
Well, I actually don't. I actually think Neil McCann is rang with it, but it's just so funny the way he is in it, Neil McCann.
So Jonathan Sunderland says to him, "You're concerned that you're conceding so many goals." And he's
So negative.
But it came off the back of a positive question,
Saying that
which
good,
is, I couldn't believe how angry he got. But I think it's funny.
I
See,
love
regardless of, obviously, whatever way you incline, she's a neutral for Scottish football. Kilmarnock be brilliant to watch this
Mate,
year.
I enjoyed watching them.
Aye,
Really
'cause-
enjoyed
But
them.
good on Johners for asking the question, because they've worked together in the BBC for years, you know. It'd been dead easy for Jonathan to soft soap him, you know, because I must be honest, I'm not on Twitter, but I got my wife to respond to something that I'd read. I scrolled through it, right, but it's poison mainly. But I got my wife to reply to the wee club TV thing at Motherwell yesterday, because with the best will in the world, that was Stenhousemuir. That was awful, right? That was torture. And there wasn't one hard question for the guy doing it. To
the Motherwell manager.
You know, the questions that all the Motherwell fans would have wanted asked, all the comments that were below for all the Motherwell fans, it was nothing like that. It was all trying to get a positive out of everything. But we'll be up for it though on Thursday, won't we? We've got a great European getting young. Aye, but what about that? Are you going to say to him, Alfred, it's clear the young guys maybe aren't good enough? Are you going to have money to spend? We brought in. There was nothing like that. And sometimes club TV, I think in general terms, that all the boys that watch themselves, it gets a wee bit too diluted.
Have you worked with McCann on BBC much?
I've seen Neil, and I've not directly worked with him quite a bit. He's certainly been on off the ball in the past, but I like Neil. I think he's one of the better pundits. I think
he's brilliant.
I think he speaks his mind, and him and Dodsey. I mean, I don't know what photos they've got to the bosses at the BBC, but anytime they're out, they what a way to get through your life. No, if I get jotted here back into the BBC, they'll elbow somebody else. But no, I think the two of them are really good on the radio, and wee Billy's great. I've known Billy for years, but it's good to see them. Again, it goes back to what I say. Boys like that, they can't resist the lure of the football. And even look at Ali McCoist. Probably when he couldn't resist the lure of Rangers, I think his TV career at that point. But the minute the fit became calling, he went back, and now he's gone back the other way again and a way up again. But it's just that. I mean, as I say, I've never played. I don't know what it's like.
Being involved on a Saturday.
Aye.
Oh.
You know about that?
I'm not, to be honest.
No.
But I think it's because you're still busy and you're still watching loads of football and you still feel involved anyway. You're talking about it, so no.
Remember Neil McCann's interview in the summer with English?
Tom English.
He talked about that on Saturday, wasn't he?
Aye, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. That was proper good. That was a proper good.
I never knew they two drove home the same motor that night. Shared a pint with each other.
Tom English and Neil McCann.
But that's what it should be, innit?
I'll take you for a pint a day after that.
It's all the things that...
He'll be messaging you, right, checking if you're alright or you fell out of him. That's what he's like.
Many times that happened in football, you hear managers have done ding dong, but no, he come into my office after it with a can of beer. That's the way it should be.
Did you ever hear an interview? It never went well, Tim.
Yes. When we had Pat Kane on from Hue and Cry, he was on the same show as, at the time, the Scottish Conservative leader, Ruth Davidson. And let's just say their politics are miles apart.
Right.
Pat Kane and Ruth Davidson, right? And it was horrible. It was the only time that I didn't like the atmosphere in the studio. Pat, throughout the entire 2-hour show, kind of turned his back slightly on Ruth and just looked at me and Stewart. And every time she spoke, he'd go, and shake his head and all that. And it was horrible, right? And what was really horrible about it, because at the end, when we get the wee team photo that they put up online or whatever, the four of us were stood there, me and Stewart, the bookends, Pat and Ruth. And then for maximum effect, just before one of the young kids that works in the show went to take the photo, just as the finger moved, Pat walked to it, says, I can't do this. Just for maximum effect, right? And I felt absolutely horrible, because I'm glad I brought that up earlier. That's not the atmosphere you want. It's not the atmosphere you'd want here. And it was like, Stewart described it, he says, that was like a fight in a family home at New Year. And everybody's all a bit awkward after it and that, you know what I mean? So, Pat went away, and I thought, fucking hell, man, that was horrible. Now, I grew up in the shadow of Ravenscraig Steelworks. I didn't have any great love for the Conservative Party or anything, you know. I was probably meant to be beasting into Ruth myself, but it was just manners, decency. So it annoyed me all that night. I mind I was in the house, and I was just sitting in my Todd watching all the shite Saturday night telly, but it's fucking playing in my head and had a wee glass of wine. So I texted our producer at the time, Stevie, and I said, how did you get in contact with Ruth? I says, I'm out to contact her. I said, was that a spin doctor or Holyrood or what? He says, no, she used to work in here, mind. And she did. She was a journalist. She did Good Morning Scotland for years. So Stevie says, I had a number. I says, going to send it to me. So he did. And I sent Ruth a wee text. I says, Ruth, hi, it's Tam Cowan. I just want to apologise on behalf of me and Stewart. That was horrible the day. It never ever happens in the show. So just an apology. You're welcome back anytime. And I thought, I'll not hear anything else about that, you know. 30 seconds later, ping, and a wee message. And she said, Tam, I can assure you, in my political career, I've dealt with much bigger dicks than that. And that's all she said. And I thought, well, she would have in politics. She got all the abuse, you know. Uh-huh. But you know what annoyed me about it? Pat, nobody turns up for a show. It's normally 2 guests. Nobody turns up without knowing who else is on.
Oh, right.
So that week, Pat would have known. By the way, it's Ruth Davidson, the Scottish Conservative leader. Oh, is it? He could have bowed out then if he didn't want to have anything to do with her. But Pat knew that he was coming on a show that thankfully has got a really big audience. We're on BBC Radio. Pat had a tour and a CD to promote. That's why he was in the studio.
No, Dan.
No, Mark Hecklers was.
Oh, fuck, he wouldn't tell us anything, man. Surprised he told us his name.
Remember he...
Fucking wouldn't tell us anything.
Remember he went lactose, but all 5 through. Right, come on, boys. You know what?
That was wild.
That was horrible.
That
was the worst you've done. I don't mean boring.
That's probably up there. Just kept saying to read it in his book. Oh, you're going to have to read it in the book.
Yeah, it's a funny thing where there's some when you get ex-players, my heart sinks if you're at an event and maybe the player that's also there if I'm doing a turn and they say, oh, he's doing a Q&A, because see some of them, they're the worst. See if you get one guy and you go, what do you think about VAR? And you go, oh, for fuck's sake, you know. if you get guys that are up for it, some of them are very good at the Q&As, but it's the guys that are telling all the stories that the sort of stories you want off boys when they come on here. You don't want to, you know, what about Infantino should he, and you think, oh, you know. But you know what I mean?
Who the fuck cares?
The Q&A hang, it's what an easy, I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of guys deserve to make money for Q&As because they've had the career. It merits it, and they're up there. And when you get proper guys doing it, you can hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
Guys that have, you know, the late great Kevin Keegan, I worked with him a few times, and he was the best. He didn't do the Q&A, he went up and did his own thing. He had a wee clicker on the screen and all that, right? And he was magnificent. And the nicest thing, we're always going on in circles here about things that I've brought up, about how folk remember people, how you always remember how somebody was. At every gig that I did with Kevin Keegan, he was the last guy out the hall in the early hours of the morning. He stayed there for every autograph, every selfie. He was magnificent. What a loss. A lovely, lovely guy. When I heard that he'd passed away, I didn't think what he was like at Liverpool or the goals. I just thought him as the man. He was outstanding, a class act.
Yeah, well said.
Right, boys, we've given him a bit of stick, so we need to give him a bit of praise. Great result for Aberdeen at Pittodrie and much needed for Stephen Robinson, wasn't it?
Aye.
Deserved as well. Looked like he created a lot of chances.
I deserved it. I thought the first...
Just need to stop falling to Alisanya, mate.
I know. He had 2 1-on-1s in the first half as well. I actually thought the first half was pretty balanced. I thought Dundee probably had the better of the game. Aberdeen definitely had the better of the chances in the first half. And second half, in terms of their intensity, quality as well in the final third, Aberdeen were really good. 3 goals in the space of 25 minutes, whatever it was. But 3 goals are brilliant goals.
And the highlight of the game?
The Rabona for the goal.
How good is that?
Is that what's
called? How far he gets it?
What a fucking hero, mate. I couldn't kick it that far, did you?
But it was 0-0 at that point.
What is he doing?
I thought Rabona was Spanish for a hard-on. I've got to be honest with you. But for him, what was the score when he did it?
No.
Ah, right. We brought this up. My head's been up my arse with the Fringe and all that. So I just saw somebody had recorded that off their telly and put the clip up. So it wasn't the best quality that I saw. But I was assuming, I mean, Aberdeen are in no fucking position to showboat just yet. So I thought it must have been 3-0 when he tried. So 0-0.
No, aye, first half.
Wow.
Who impressed you for Aberdeen?
Nisbet's back. You get him in the Scotland squad? Now with this new manager, is that one that could maybe get a chance back in?
Aye, definitely.
It's like fit, isn't he?
It's actually good competition for strikers though, isn't there? Yeah. The boy Ure's got to get in. You're getting a £9 million move to Seville.
Can you talk,
Robbie Ure?
Can you talk to me? Was he taught when he was young?
We played against him at Rangers B. We played against him 4 times that season.
Look at
Do you remember? Genuinely saying this, he was my favourite player in that Rangers B team.
Well, I bet it was the game he's played them at the Barton, mine. He scored a couple of that day.
Will he be a successor, do you think?
I think so, mate. You're getting moved
some
to
move, mate, innit?
Amazing, mate. Great to see the Scottish boys doing it, innit?
See the boy that the new signing for Aberdeen, the striker, he was only in a week. His goal's a joke.
What finish that is, mate.
Sorry. Alisanya plays the pass, he lets it run across his body. And then I love his little overs for the third goal as well. How many strikers are trying to take that in a swivel or shoot or pop it back?
What happened to Simon Murray?
I think that's a bad one all day.
Good game.
When a player goes down, there's no contact, there's nobody near you, and then you're straight away, it's that wave to the.
So how long's that sort of injury?
9 months at least.
The whole season that'll be.
But Aberdeen need to keep that up now though.
Yeah.
It can't be another season, but it's there. Then like we seen last week, and it can't be like that. As I say, like too big a club. Need to keep performances.
Who did they get in the draw?
Sorry,
Killie.
Sorry. He done well at Motherwell, didn't he? Stephen Robinson, a big fan.
Okay, huge fan, aye, and he deserved that. I mean, he didn't have any money or anything to spend at Motherwell, and when any guy does well at Motherwell, you're always inquisitive, wondering what it'd be like at a club at the bit of money, and he's certainly getting back by Dave Cormack. There's no doubt about that, So aye, good luck to him. I'm not one of them, he got us into the 2 finals in that one season, of course, which was magnificent for Motherwell. Sadly, it was a great Celtic team that we played in both, so it was a big ask that. But aye, Stevie Robinson, I really like him.
Spend a bit of time with him.
It was good. Only at maybe we fan Q&A nights. He was always the first. He says, whenever you need me. So we did normally in Motherwell. We did a couple of them. For example, the New Century, the pub up at top end of town. And Stephen was always the first to turn up. And it's great like that because, let's be brutally honest, you can get some fan events and the folk at the club puts up, a couple of reserves, a couple of youths or something, you know what I mean? So Motherwell as a club, have I been good for that at fan stuff? They'll always, it was always you'd always get the captain, the manager and a couple of players. You could ask, they'd say, what 4 folk do you want, Tam? Because you knew it's a fan event and and they would turn up. So, always good. And again, when you hear, because Motherwell fans that's what I always love. Motherwell fans, by and large, fans of any club. You don't ever hear your manager, your captain talking when it's the interview, right? Mm-hmm. The straight-laced interview. So when you get them in that environment, it's brilliant. The fans lap it up.
Brilliant. Hearts and Hibs through.
Both through. Hearts
are good.
They're looking outstanding, aren't they?
Going forward. Wee winger's a good player. Is it Jota?
Jota, he didn't play last year.
Was he there last year?
Didn't he
play? I want to see though, Calvin Miller, how well's he doing as well? Andy, you coached him. Who was the 3 you coached in the summer?
Calvin Miller, Kyle Glasgow, James Penrice.
Brilliant.
They're offline. Fucking no rocket science, isn't it?
No.
What
about Inverness's 2 goals?
Oh, it's the boys' pass for the second is unbelievable, by the way. It really was. But that's some result. Hibs, on the other hand, I don't want to be negative. They went through it, so brilliant. But how's that not a penalty?
Oh, it's a penalty. That's a penalty.
How's it not been given?
No, it has been given, and they've overruled it. That's what I find mad.
Is this the handball one as well?
Hibs and Partick,
like how? His hands doing, like his hands there.
Yeah. And he actually, for me, he does move. It's not a lot, obviously, but he does move towards it.
Would your boys say I'm saying I hate questions about VAR, so we'll keep this dead short. But what's your general yes or no to VAR?
No, I get it.
No, I hate
right. But it's not going to happen. It's here to stay.
I know you said short. But, well, there you go. I'd keep it for offside.
Right, aye.
But for
I went to a couple of games. I'll sometimes go to some daft games, and was it last year? It was quite a tasty game. Can't remember how it worked out. It was Morton against Partick Thistle. I've got a pal down in Green. I says, it's Monday, Friday night sports scene games. So I went down there, and it was only when I was coming back up the road, I thought I really enjoyed that, and I realised that one of the reasons
there was no
VAR. It just like an old game. It just fucking cracked.
Aye, the flow, yeah.
And and if a referee doesn't see it, they can't give it. So you get on with it,
I think Hearts will be really good this year.
So do I, mate. I like.
Do you think they'll go through?
No, they're difficult guys, aren't they?
I think they've got a chance. But for Rapid Vienna, I don't know. I couldn't tell you how they've done.
How do you know Hecklers?
Well, Hibs struggled against much less opposition than Ghent, didn't they?
I mean, sorry, on Hearts. Because you're a big fan of Hearts, isn't he?
I know. In the battering for Benfica 6-1, I don't know if that plays a part in the next round. I know, but did Benfica rest players? I take it. I think they are starting to get better, Hearts, but I think he'll be more concentrated.
I need a striker. I'm not sure about the boy Bassi, if that's how you pronounce it, that's came in. I wasn't a big fan of Kabori last year either.
What a goal for Braga again.
The exciting thing with Hearts, I know that, what a climax to the season, but bear in mind, Tony Bloom said, more or less promised, the league within 10 years.
Yeah.
I know it was an absolute nightmare the way it ended for everybody involved with Hearts, but that was still only year one.
Aye.
And that guy rarely gets anything right.
I said that last year as well. And also good, he's Jim Wilson back starting. He played well.
No, came on.
You see the boy come in as a right youngster.
Yeah, he went to Spurs
3 seasons ago or something. Was it longer?
Yeah.
Right, and he was just a wee whippy lad. But
what do you think for Hibs and Hearts in Europe?
I'm going to both go through.
He's getting Scottish fans on side today. I know exactly where his head's at. I love where your head's at, mate. You're going to be heralded as a hero on this show this week.
Ain't fucking daft.
I'm both it. Both it. I think they'll be. I actually did genuinely think they'll be close, but I think they'll both go out.
Tam, any idea?
No, because I don't know what the opponents are like, so I don't just give opinions.
It's not looking good.
Willy-nilly.
It's not looking great.
I wish them well.
We put ourselves out there for.
You'll have heard me saying this before. I only watch European football if there's a Scottish interest. I want all the teams. I reserve the right to always take the piss out of clubs, Rangers, Celtic, Hearts, at any club, right? But see when they're in Europe, because the other nights you go out with your pals, you watch it in the clubhouse or somewhere like that, you get a bevy. I would never go out and watch Benfica against Lyon or something. Who gives a fuck? No, but you know what I mean? I know there are folk, and you'll have loads of them that tune into you boys, right, who are analytical with all that, and they would never miss a game. If there's any game on in the pub, they're glued to it, but I need a wee bit of Scottish interest. So I wish them all
What's your favourite ever joke, Tim? You got one?
My favourite ever joke? I was asked this on another podcast recently.
Okay.
I was put on the spot, right? And one of it, just a daft joke. I mentioned Spain earlier. There's a great joke. This is from the era when folks sat in the pub and told jokes. I'm not saying I made this up. It's just a favourite joke that I would have heard in a pub or whatever. It's a Yorkshire couple go to Spain for their holidays, and they're in their wee apartment and they're unpacking everything, the tea bags, the digestive biscuits and that, as the Algians do when they go abroad, And the woman says, she says, "Hey Arthur, I can't believe it. We've forgotten the Bisto gravy granules." And he says, "Listen, I'll go and chap the door across the road. That looked like an English couple." So he goes there and he chaps on the door and the boy answers. He says, "Hast thou any Bisto?" The guy says, "Fuck off, you Spanish." It's a cracker, isn't it?
How do you...
Can't you tell that on the radio?
So see for the Fringe shows when you're touring, how do you plan your gigs? Or is it like you says, is it quite a lot off the cuff?
You start with, I know for a fact, when I go through there this afternoon, first 10 minutes I'll be taking the piss out of me in Motherwell. before anybody else can do it, right? So Stenhousemuir, I meant that earlier. The only good I'll take, 2 bits of good I'll take out. If we get a wee reaction on Thursday night, brilliant. But the other bit is for my show today. And even when I was seeing it, and it's the last few minutes, and I'm on my phone and all that, I'm thinking, this is terrible, but I can say that about this, this is terrible, I can say that about this. So that's the way you've got to do it. And any topical stuff that happens when you're in front of an audience, because what I've said for years, and it's true, everybody will tell you it's in my game, a really topical joke doesn't need to be the best joke in the world, but see if you can refer to something that's just happened, the audience love it, you know. So that's what happens. And then it depends who you see. You could have a woman down the front who's the double of, you know, she's a double of Sue Pollard for Heidi High. You could get a guy that's a spitting image of Dick Advocaat, and then that just takes you down a road. And I'll use that as an example. You see a guy that looks like Dick Advocaat, and the way my fucking head works, I would get back to that era at Rangers, and there's always a couple of stories about some of the players for that time or whatever, or, you know, and that's that. So it's just, I don't know.
Stand-up comedy must be the worst. It must be the hardest job in the world.
Aye.
How was Si when he came on your show? Was it Black Friday?
Was very good.
That was good. I enjoyed that.
Was brilliant, aye.
I need the warmth of the audience. Whether it's a football person or somebody that's got an audience for other way. I know you get your audience through the football, but with dancing last night, there's always a wee warmth. Folk, you can tell they're on your side right away.
Mate, that's the most nervous I've ever been for a show. More nervous than
You said that to me.
I was fucking shit myself. I don't know why.
Because
you know he's got a battery as well. Which I obviously didn't mind, but you feel like you need to be funny back.
Yeah, Tam, who's that? You got to answer it.
Look at the time, you never tell me that, boys. Hello? I'm sitting in this thing with the bloody, my doing this show. I no track of the time there. Because it's right, okay.
Funny.
Right, I'll phone her the now. Right, okay, bye.
I didn't even know what I
Is that the missus?
Eh? How am I meant to know where the fire extinguisher is? No, that was... How long's this been fucking going on?
12 o'clock.
I need to get going. I was meant to be taking my lassie to the school.
You know, fucking...
How long? I thought it was about 10 o'clock. What's the fucking time? How long have we been doing this? Look at that.
We'll just end it there. Tam Cowan.
Hey!